garnering all our resources, pooling everything so we can beat this virus. Omicron is scaring people in the West. It's in Ghana now, and there's an active agenda to get unvaccinated people restricted from certain public services, maybe this month or next month. So if you have not received your jabs, if you've not gone for your vaccinations, now is the time.
Indeed. So now is the time to make sure that you protect not only yourself but others as well. So that's the news we want to be giving to you. Parliament is getting so interesting now. People are snatching chairs, conspiracy theories, do you have body doubles in the system? All that will be discussed in the news. You don't go anywhere. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. I know her number, but I won't give it to you. She doesn't need your number now. She needs you to be watching her.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. A package came for somebody yesterday. I'll tell you.
Okay. So here comes a pocket-sized package of goodness. Wow. Greetings.
Greetings, you too. Why are you guys always doing jobs?
Hello. Because we like your smile. We like your smile.
I said the package came for somebody. Did I say it was for you? You've just collected the shade.
All the time.
You always put in J and on the spot is out.
Okay, so let me put you guys on the spot.
Good.
You know that Christmas song? So Christmas is my favorite time of the year.
Nice.
You know that Christmas song, on the first day of Christmas?
Yes.
Oh, this local band, they've done
Kwampa.
Yes. But you know, so when do the 15 days, how many days we have it?
Yeah.
Like, when do the
When does it start?
Yes.
12 days.
So when we say on the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah. When does it start?
When is it? When does it start? When does it
Is that
end?
a quiz question?
No, this is my
Because we need to figure it out. If you say the first 15 days of Christmas, when does it start?
Yeah, so where does it start and then when does it end?
And when should your tree go up and when should it come down?
I'm Googling.
Okay, so now brings me to my trends. So top of my trends, I have December in GH.
Okay.
So you know why December in GH is trending, right?
It's a place to be in
So
December.
after the year of return, December in Ghana is a place to be there, like the whole world. And so there's a tweet out and they're saying that return tickets to Ghana are more expensive than going to 4 different countries.
We've arrived.
So that's Ghana on the map. So December in GH is trending. Davido is trending. Stonebwoy is trending. And then, are you mad? I don't know why those are trending, but if you do, then kindly send your comments and share with us on our WhatsApp number 055-55-61034 or on our social media handles. We are live on Facebook as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, live on YouTube as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and we're interactive on Twitter and Instagram as the GBC Ghana and GBC Online. Later on the site that's sponsored by Airtel Tigo, I'll be speaking with a gentleman who is a singer, but he says he's a Christian baller. Now the baller is B-A-L-L-E-R, baller. That's a slang for somebody who likes chilling, or what's a baller?
Yeah, a chiller.
A chiller.
So I'm starting to thinking someone who plays ball.
So no, like it's a baller. So yeah,
ball.
we'll be speaking to the Christian baller later on in the show. We'll be rushing hour and looking at what traffic looks like. This time we'll be looking at it from the 37 intersection area and the whole 37th Street. And then also keeping an eye, because it's Farmers Day tomorrow, we are looking at the Farmers Day Exhibition Center. Jay will be on the ground, or Alan, this time from the Central region. That's where we'll be keeping an eye from. So we'll have a first-hand feel of what it looks like before everybody who doesn't watch the show sees it tomorrow. The hashtag to follow is DTV Breakfast. I'm throwing the ball to you guys.
Okay, so your question, once it's not a cheesy question,
no,
I can answer.
It's not cheesy. It's not cheesy.
Well, I have.
And once we answer, we have to get vouchers for pizza.
No. Please, international producer treated me nicely yesterday. No vouchers for any of you.
So the first day of Christmas, according to Google, begins on the 25th day of Christmas.
Okay. The first day of Christmas?
Yes. So it starts on the 25th, and then it ends on the 5th of January.
Okay.
Yes.
And so we sing the song on the first day of Christmas.
We mean
it actually begins on the 25th of December.
Yes.
A little bit of education. Guys, so the hashtag to follow is DTV Breakfast. The show is made possible, or you guys have to help me out with the sponsors.
I will purified mineral water, Shield acrylic paint, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. And we'll be having a conversation on the local pharmaceutical manufacturing industry in Ghana, and that will be thanks to low-fat anti-malarial medicine, cheesy cakes that will partner us for our cheesy quiz of the day, and of course Airtel Tigo for the lifestyle segment.
Okay, so it's a smoky world on top, stallion outlook on the bottom, and 100% coffee day with Valenti to bring you the wisdom nugget from Dr. Kofi Osei Kusi. He says, empower the youth. Morning, welcome.
It's a good morning to you. I'm always very excited and very humbled to serve you the wisdom nugget for the day. And nugget a day keeps all the problems away. Our nugget today is let's empower the youth. Let's empower the youth. You know, we talk about the fact that the youth are the future. We talk about it all the time. And I think sometimes we only do just half of what we should do as far as empowering the youth for the future. And I respect the views of other people as well, which is the fact that the youth are not just the future, but the youth are also the today. And we need to all collectively think about how can we invest in young people, because investing in young people is the best thing that any nation can do. And when you look at Africa, Africa today has the world's highest youth population, and Africa will continue to grow because we have a lot of young people. And that is not only an asset. If we don't do that, we're actually sitting on a time bomb. We're sitting on a tremendous brewing crazy amount of crime and incredible, horrible things that could happen if we don't invest in the youth. Whenever we talk about investing in the youth, I think our attention is largely on government alone. Look, we're calling on government to do its part. But more importantly, every one of us has a duty to invest in young people. Teachers have a tremendous duty to invest in the young people that they teach in school. Hospitals have a tremendous duty to concentrate on younger people and to see, I mean, everyone, but especially younger people, and, you know, securing their health and what have you. Parents, more importantly, have a duty in raising young people who are responsible. You know, divorce and single homes and so on and so forth have a negative impact on raising young people. So all of us collectively do have an important duty to invest in young people. What I'm challenging you today is that today, please join me and join many other people who are investing in young people. Let's pour out into them. How can we do that? We can mentor young people. We can, you know, take young people in, and we can counsel young people. We can sponsor some of them through school. We can help create jobs and do things that help to better the well-being of younger people. You are not too far away and you're not too small to make an impact in the life of young people. Today our wisdom nugget has been, let's together invest in young people. They are not just the future, but they are the today. And if we don't seriously look at that, we're sitting on a terrible time bomb that will affect generations. I know you hear me right, and I know there's a young person in your life that you can contribute in helping to invest in this person to help make the world and to help make the country a better place. Enjoy your day as you go out there thinking about all the young people around you and helping to invest in them. Have a blessed day.
Thanks for staying on. This is the Breakfast Show live from Studio 1 at the Broadcasting House, Kanda in Accra. We are happy to have you join us this morning. We are looking into our social media trends, and on my list, the actress called Ekuapem Polo is top of my trends this morning, following a decision by an appeal court, a high court, to keep her sentence as it was handed down by the circuit court. So you remember Ikuapim-Polo was in the news for sharing a picture of herself and her son whilst she was not wearing clothes. And that matter was in court. She was granted bail, and a sentence was handed down, and then she decided to appeal, and the judge said no, and that it was not harsh or overly, what's the word I want to use? Because it's a legal, you know, all these legal terms. So that basically it was not harsh, and that the sentence should be upheld. So Ikuapim-Polo is spending Christmas at Insawam.
Yeah, well, this is
prison.
It's a self-inflicted wound, because how are we able to see what's happening in your house if you don't take a photograph of it and then show it to the world? So the over social medialization, if there's such a word, of our lives, where every single thing has to be put out there, is an issue. And the whole sexualization of children too is a big deal. You know, there's a lot of sex abuse, child abuse issues. And to have a naked mom, or half, well, I don't know whether she was fully naked or half naked. She was fully naked, yes.
Fully.
Yes, with her hair strategically covering the bits. To put that out there in the name of, I don't know what, was it art or a birthday? I don't know. But these days, the enforcers and the judiciary, the law is coming down hard on issues. And sexual abuse is a big deal. Child abuse is a big deal.
It is.
You know, somebody say it's only a picture, but no.
You should have heard me ranting this morning about a 50-year-old man who had he defiled a 5-year-old.
No.
And he was threatening the mother.
What?
The
defiler was threatening the mother.
Shut, yes.
No.
And a few of my friends and I, women in the media, are going to pursue that case to the end. But I completely agree with everything that you have said. I just find it sad that a mother and her son are going to spend Christmas apart.
Yeah.
That really saddens me.
Well, there are consequences for everything.
So mind you that initially when she was arrested, even though what she had done was against the law and everything, everybody sort of sympathized with her because of her son. Okay, and then after she was granted bail pending her and look at her appeal, somebody would have expected somebody else to be maybe a bit quiet on social media and sort of, you know, continue to garner the sympathy. But then it was adverse, maybe then again because of her craft or her brand, so she has to be out there all the time to be relevant. But I think everybody, I mean, taking a cue from Ikuapim-Polo's incident, I mean, social media has been clean. Wow, I mean, after her video, I mean, her picture surfaced and she was arrested. It kept nudity at bay a little. So yeah, I'm all for cleansing our social media. But we've all been in these positions before where we put something out there and you don't realize the impact it's going to have.
Until it's already out there.
Especially, I mean, I've put children's pictures on my social media and I didn't seek their permission, I didn't ask their parents' permission, but these are things that we now need to be looking at because elsewhere, child trafficking and what's not is rife because people put their kids and their information and everything on social media.
Yeah, and they check you out.
Yeah. I remember reading, was it a caution against putting photos of your children in their school uniforms on social media? Because all these kidnappers, they monitor and they know where to pick your kid up when you drop them off at school.
And even something like a birthday dedication where you hear, they say, oh, I want to send a happy 8th birthday to Amasawa. She is in class 4B at GBC Middle Mixed A1 School in Kanda. You know, you've given a GPS, you've given a whole GPS location to your child, you know, and then somebody will come there and say, I'm an auntie to the birthday girl.
When David Donto came in last week, before T had a conversation with him, and they were having a little tete-a-tete, and she was asking if he wanted to talk. He said, no, my private life is my private life. I do not want to put it out there. It's my craft that's selling, it's my craft that's a legend. Let's deal with that. And I felt that.
It was a very respectful decision. I found it very respectful.
So she's going to spend her
So Parliament has been in the news since Friday because of all the back and forth between the majority and the minority over the 2022 budget statement. And yesterday, that continued on the floor. The minority side asking for the approval to be set aside, the decision to approve the budget to be set aside because of the numbers 137, 138, and the inclusion of the First Deputy Speaker, the MP for Bekwai, in the count on the floor of Parliament. That did not go down well with the majority, which insisted that the right thing had been done and that the decision was constitutional. Scuffles quickly broke out and we saw some unpleasant scenes. I'll have you watch them and then I'll pick your thoughts maybe.
This video is credited to
3 News.
3 News. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So 3 News, this video is getting the credit for this one.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's what happened in Parliament. Scuffles broke out between MPs. It was almost a fist fight at some point. Strong views being expressed.
And lots of heckling. Oh.
Brother, keep your mask on and shout. The guy took his mask off to go and shout. Oh, MP. Hey, the chair is going. Numb on there. Numb on there.
But do you guys realize that? Do you guys realize that with all that's happening with Parliament, do you guys realize that?
I don't know how you can laugh about this.
No, it's funny. It's funny. They are behaving like children. We can laugh.
That's why I am mortified.
Okay,
because
so
I thought we learned some lessons from January 6.
The
events that happened on January 7, the morning of the inauguration of the president and the vice, and that we had all determined not to do this again.
Where was he taking the chair to?
So
I want the chair. I want to see that again, man.
So when after this, when Parliament was forced to
it be some George. Who be some George? Who be that? Hey, who that? No. Azama happy. Nogbe. Oh, Honorable Nogbe, show.
So the proceedings resumed for the second deputy speaker to take over, only to adjourn sitting until today.
Hey, Nogbe.
Don't touch me, don't touch me.
Jujonumala, show. Oh, wow.
Okay, so, well...
He's still going back for it. Show.
Listen.
We voted these guys, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Listen.
Can we unvote them?
Listen.
Or 2024?
Listen. My only issue is...
Oh, Charlie, what is this?
So, with all that's happening from the ballot snatching incident involving Carlos Ahenkwa, you know that on the upside, lots of ordinary Ghanaians who ordinarily would not bother with issues of Parliament, which laws are being passed and allies. You do realize that because of all this, a lot of light has been shed on the proceedings in Parliament.
Yep.
And it's actually making a lot of people are now interested.
So
the lawmakers are
deputy
doing.
speaker, there's something else that we have on the deputy speaker. And guys, I want you to look at this again. So let's have that on the screen and then I'll pick your thoughts on that as well. We've seen the scuffles on the floor. Let's hear how it's played out for the deputy speaker.
Honourable members, when it comes to the question of voting, it is very clear. Any time any of the deputy speakers or any other member elected to preside is in the chair, that member does not vote. That has never been in dispute. Any time a member is presiding, either the deputy speaker or a member who by necessity is elected from among members to preside, that person does not vote.
So the first deputy speaker admitting that as the speaker of the day, he does not get a vote, which is why people are asking, then it means there's also 137, perhaps the question the minority is putting up. But the majority insists that they need the majority of MPs in the House at the time the vote was called, but the one who sat in the chair did not get a vote. So A lot of questions, some have been on the table, they've attempted to answer them, but it's an unfolding, developing story, and we'll continue to monitor proceedings. Now, conspiracy theories have come in, and there are allegations. These are just allegations. I don't even know if that photo is photoshopped, it's been doctored in any way, but it's been flying around that the Honorable Adjoa for MP for Dome Kwabena was impersonated on the floor of Parliament. I find that shocking. I find the allegation itself shocking, because now I only know it as an allegation. I don't know if there's any truth to those claims. And for anyone to even make the allegation, it shocks me.
But anyways.
Yeah, so this has been going around. I mean, Parliament should be turned into some TV series or a telenovela, you know, Parliament, the drama.
But
because everything is happening.
Do people look the same way every time?
Budgets are being rejected, are being accepted, chairs are being snatched, and then body doubles are now in the system.
People don't look...
Allegedly.
People don't look the same all the time, especially women with various ways,
hairstyles,
makeup,
hormones.
And now the mask. But we don't know. It's a photo.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people were arguing that if you look at the neck...
No, but the earrings look the same.
What's with the neck?
This photo without the mask of her has her face and her neck. She has folds, you know, beautiful folds on her neck.
Okay, the rings.
Yes, and it's evident everywhere. So,
but if you tilt your head a certain way, surely you would not see them.
The rings will go.
Would you?
Well, I don't.
But the VAR in Parliament. Sorry, but I just had to ask.
Good question.
Is there?
Yeah.
I mean, if the cameras inside Parliament, well. It's a photo and it's being alleged.
So that's the conspiracy theory going around since I think yesterday or 2 days ago. People can swear on their mother's lives that it is her. Others are also swearing on their father's lives that it is not her. And those are the pictures. How they're going to prove that it wasn't her or is her is up to the people inside Parliament. But with snatching of chairs and all kinds of things, we don't know what next we can expect.
Yeah. So Sydney actually has something we can expect.
Please, can we look? This
so
is
Sydney, you know what Sydney? You know he has a way. Yes, Sydney the musician, very much Sydney, uses social issues and he has these bangers. Oh, so yesterday I was going home and then I was just listening to this song. And Sydney's new song, it says that bro nyano you bet to ashada. I mean, we'll find the video, but at least yeah. You see the
Valerie, there's Omicron in Ghana, and if we don't take care, that will affect Christmas.
Yes, but there's so much sadness and negativity everywhere. I was just shouting at Sydney. Hey, yeah.
So Ghana confirmed it has confirmed cases of the new variant of COVID-19. And yesterday the announcement was made. I remember yesterday in the morning we sat at this table with KKD and Oscar Provinsai, and we were talking about how the Ghana Medical Association had said there was no confirmed case in the country yet, only for the announcement to be made a few hours later that had changed. And it should be of concern to us because the details emerging from other countries where that variant has been detected is that it spreads even faster than Delta. It's even more deadly, and you're more likely to get more seriously sick if you got that variant of COVID-19. Reiterating once again the need for everyone to get vaccinated. I think everyone will agree with me across the board that vaccination is key to preventing more severe illness and possible death. It does not, unfortunately, it doesn't mean you will not get COVID, but we're told that you are less likely to be more seriously sick. And there are plans to bar people who have not been vaccinated from accessing public facilities and services.
The Premier League, the Ghana Premier League, so they're going to start asking for vaccination cards.
So they will ask for your vaccination card before you go to a restaurant, perhaps before you go to the stadium, before you go to a concert. And mind you, the Deputy Creative Arts Industry Minister had come out earlier, a few weeks ago, to make that suggestion, and it looks like it's being worked upon. The health minister is saying they are working on a law to make enforcing that possible. Yeah, I don't know if you have any more to add so that we can get to our cheesy quiz winners from yesterday.
Go ahead.
And we asked the question, who won the best farmer in 2020? And the answer we were looking for was Solomon Kojo Kusi. Solomon Kojo Kusi won the best farmer award in 2020. 3 of you answer the question fastest. Elizabeth Kwatikai Obodai from Impramprum Kanishi, Hussein Al-Hassan from Dome, and Nana Boating Isaac from Kwabenya. So 2 constituency members winning
from Ajosapo's constituency.
Hussein Al-Hassan and Nana Boating Isaac from Dome and Kwabenya respectively. And then Elizabeth Kwatikai Obodai from Impramprum Kanishi. You've won some vouchers to get yourself pizzas from Cheesy Pizza. Any branch at all across the capital, you can pick up the voucher and go there to get yourself some pizza. Those of you are sending us messages from outside the city and saying, oh, there's no one to pick in Accra for me, but I've won it. It's not our fault. Just donate the voucher back to us. We'll give it to the next person who answered fastest after you. Okay, so Cheesy Quiz, that was the answer for yesterday. Solomon Kwajokusi, who do you think will win the best farmer tomorrow? We'll find out tomorrow when we get into Cape Coast. In the next segment, Lufat will be partnering us to bring us some details from the local manufacturing industry when it comes to pharmaceuticals. And we'll be right back after the break.
From GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
What's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Show.
Good morning, and still to come on the show, Valerie sits down with the Christian baller. Yeah, I like that term. And then we'll be speaking to some old students from Fiji. Yeah, Fiji SHS at 70 years. Wow, they're growing, or they've grown old. And then there's a new author. Well, this is his second book, and the title of the book is The Judgment Day. Yeah, what's it all about? That conversation will be coming up on today's show. But for now, we're looking at issues to do with the domestic pharmaceutical industry, and this conversation is brought to you by Lufat tablet and suspension, which is used to manage malaria caused by all forms of the malaria parasite, including simple or uncomplicated malaria, as well as severe or complicated malaria, taken after a fatty meal for 3 days for effective results. It's a brand of anti-malaria you can trust from the market leaders Tobinco, who won Product of the Year for the Ghana Farmer Awards 2021 with Lufat. That conversation comes up on the local manufacturing industry as far as pharmaceuticals are concerned. We'll be right back after this.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
What's up with the weather?
your health check, getting you up to speed on lifestyle,
Sports.
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you. With the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
My guest is Deputy Managing Director of Tobinco Pharmaceuticals Limited, pharmacist Christopher Metzer. Chris, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations again on Lufat being Product of the Year at the Ghana Farmer Awards 2021.
Thank you very much.
Was it expected?
Well, we worked hard, but I also say it was the grace of God that also backed us. We are putting so many systems to ensure that we come up with very good products. So one of such is Lufat. And we had also marketed anti-malarials for about 20 years. So we understood the challenges and the shortfalls with existing anti-malarials. So in developing this one, we realized that, number one, we needed to make sure that the product works very fast, because most people will not attend to malaria. By the time they are taking their tablets, it's getting to severe. So we ensure that you have a very fast dissolution of a product. And once that is done, people try the product, they see the results, and be able to vote for us on that score. And the FDA and other regulators and other industry players also realize that this is a product which is above the pack in terms of efficacy.
What are the challenges involved in manufacturing drugs in Ghana?
Right. So in terms of manufacture, number one, because over the years, a lot of the pharma companies have been importing medicines, they haven't developed so much capacity in terms of local manufacture. So you say that there's a technical know-how gap which needed to be filled. And that's why we have set up our Entrance University College of Health Sciences to train pharmacists in Doctor of Pharmacy program with a special interest in industrial pharmacy as well, so that we can develop pharmacists who know how to operate some of these complex machinery and all that. Once you're operating in this part of the world, you should not run away from finance. Finance is a big challenge because it's seriously finance driven. And once you're not getting cheaper access to finance, it becomes a challenge for the local pharmaceutical industry. The other is also ensuring that you meet the capacity, because Ghana is growing and then Africa is also growing. As much as you are manufacturing, you want your product to meet the demands of the market beyond your shores. So then that you need a big factory to be able to produce so much and then to get it out there. And then price is also another factor. You know, the NHS now determines the tariffs of medicines. So if you produce and you are not very efficient with the production, then you cannot meet NHIS price, and then you go out of business. So these are some of the challenges that we face as local manufacturers.
How tempting is it to just forget the challenges and they just take the easy route out by importing from abroad?
Yeah, really, it is tempting, because in a very short term, it's much more profitable to import. You just have a finished product, you just call a manufacturer, and once you certify that it's a good manufacturer, you just import it, you just pay your duties, FG does inspection, and you are fine. And once you also lock in a very good price there, vis-a-vis the local market price, and it means that you can do well. But I think that some people also needed to take the bull by the horns and change the status quo to develop some medicines locally, because you have a teeming youth of pharmacists and other scientists coming up who have nothing to do rather than just to sell. So you needed to get them into industry. So to find jobs, also to build our local economy, we needed to strengthen our CD. And beyond that, Ghana, we are looking at it as a manufacturing hub of West Africa, for which reason we want to ensure that we export so many medicines to the rest of Africa. And believe you me, a lot of our neighboring countries really trust Ghanaian products. So why do we sit down and just only import when there's that opportunity out there? So we needed to really produce the medicines here so that we can get it to Nigeria, Kenya, and all those other regions around us. So it is really tempting, but you needed to go beyond what is easier and do what is good.
I've had the privilege of hosting quite a few industry awards, and I find that when it comes to pharmaceuticals, a lot of the winners are coming from India. Why is India such a powerhouse as far as the manufacturing of drugs is concerned? How are you countering that?
Yeah, so India has really developed their industry over the years. In fact, they also started the same way. They started also importing medicines from across the world, and then they had to backwardly integrate and find ways and means to be able to manufacture. And that is what some of us, we want to do. So India is just because they started much ahead of us. But in terms of quality, I dare say that some of the products being produced from us and other companies in Ghana, you can be so sure that they meet very high international standards, even much better than some of those coming from India. So it is just a learning point for those of us who started importing. So now we've learned our lessons over 20 years. We know what it takes to manufacture medicines that fit our context as Ghanaians, for which reason it's time for us to develop the local economy.
What's the biggest lesson you can learn from what is happening in India that we can adapt here?
Well, so it is about the industry is big and they always collaborate, and that team up issue. In fact, most of them come down here to Ghana and you see the same team spirit that they bring down to Ghana here to dominate our local industry. So we also think, I mean, for me, the lesson is that we should team up as industry players locally and share know-how. I mean, where Entrance is now, by the grace of God, as an ISO certified company, gunning for WHO qualification, we are seriously ahead of the pack, and we should be able to transfer some of this knowledge to the up-and-coming pharma companies so that we can rather build a stronger, formidable force for the industry in Ghana.
We'll talk about the Ghanaian industry in a short while, but in case you just joined us, I'm having a conversation with pharmacist Christopher Mensah, Deputy Managing Director of Tobinco Pharmaceuticals Limited, the producers of Lufat, who sponsor our health segment right here, weekdays on GTV Breakfast. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034, 055-556-1034. If you have any questions you want to ask about locally manufacturing drugs, pharmaceuticals, let us know. 055-556-1034. Chris, tell me a bit about the state of the Ghanaian industry as far as manufacturing local drugs is concerned. How many players are you? How big is the industry?
Well, so for now we have about 40 registered local manufacturers. 40, yes.
All active?
All active, yes. Okay. Some are just producing a few products, so you do not see them. Some products are also not over-the-counter medicines. They are prescription medicines, so they cannot make noise. But for those of us who produce both prescription and non-prescription medicines, you see us all over, and they are there. I mean, you hear the names of the other big guys, but there are still so many young guys who are coming up. And that's what we really want to encourage, that it doesn't take so much to start an industry. Just get a tableting machine, just get some land somewhere, and then do. And again, we are so import-driven as a country, and it's also infiltrated into the pharmaceutical space. And pharmaceuticals are really national security items. Because if you do not have, look at what COVID did to us. If we did not produce sanitizers, what could happen to us? If you cannot produce hydroxychloroquine, as was then approved for COVID. So it becomes so important that we do not transfer these powers to any foreign entities. We need to develop it locally. And for now, we are importing about 70% of our medicines, only 30% locally. As Tobinco leads the park, we want to change that narrative and then bring it down to 70 local and 30 imported. And we are seriously working with FDA, who are very supportive, to restrict a lot of medicines for local manufacture only, so that we don't...
Food and Drugs Authority?
Yes, okay. Food and Drugs Authority, so that you don't have to import them, because we can produce artemether-lumefantrine, Alufat, not only our brand, other companies can also produce. And I mean, what is the demand like? We can really meet the Ghana demands and beyond, because as of now we are exporting to about 12 countries in the sub-region. So we have the capacity. So we want to encourage them that the trajectory that they are on, they should still continue and ensure that they restrict so many of the medicines for us, especially artemether-lumefantrine, and then that can build our economy. We are looking at about 2.69 billion Ghana cedi in terms of the market size for pharmaceuticals.
That's impressive. 2.69 billion cedis.
Yes, and we are growing. We are growing. It's actually the COVID that brought things down a bit, but we are still growing.
In terms of COVID, what medications have you produced locally to battle this disease?
Right. So when COVID came, the hottest thing became sanitizer. And as we speak now, for Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center, we have 3 factories in one. We have one whole factory just built last year, dedicated for hygiene products. So we have Omar hand sanitizer, Omar liquid soap, we have Omar rubbing alcohol, and others. Okay. Now, when you come to the mainstream pharmaceutical side, we produce hydroxychloroquine when it came up that, yes, that was the medicine to be able to handle COVID. And people were scared. People didn't want to invest. We went boldly and made the products available to Ministry of Health and then available to the general Ghanaian populace. And for now, we can say that we are not doing too bad until this new strain which has just come. We have produced azithromycin as well, our brand called Azirocin, which also is used, doxycycline, is also equally used in COVID. Then our Entramol is a brand of paracetamol, because of the fever associated with COVID, was one product that really did so well.
Okay. How far is Ghana away from actually being able to produce vaccines locally?
Not too far away. I think, people are seriously vaccine shy, and as even currently, I know the government is trying to put in so much effort to get people to vaccinate. So people were not also willing to invest in that space. But as it's becoming a norm that vaccines becomes the way to go, then some of us are thinking of investing now. And the government support is also great. as we set up our vaccine institute, other players are coming on board.
Oh, you're setting up a vaccine institute?
Yes,
okay.
yes, as a country.
All right.
Yes, so very, very soon, I would say, as we team up, again, the issue is to team up. The collaboration is what will make things turn out very fast.
Are your competitors willing to team up? You gave the excellent example of how it's happening in India, where the players come together and they move as one. Do you sense that you have that feeling in Ghana, where your competitors kind of team up, or it's all envy and oh, let them go and do their thing. If they crash, we'll look at them.
I think when it comes to teaming up, I think some of the big guys need to rather hold the hands of the others and get them closer, which we are prepared to do, and we are conversing. Because we are all in the same Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association of Ghana, I think as the conversation unfolds, we'll be able to do it. The truth is that if we do not, you die out. Yes, because we need a strong force, because the foreign vision is so powerful. We have been importing medicines over the years, and we've made serious brands of some anti-malarials. It is so sad to say on this platform that some of the products that we have made brands, invested into marketing and all that, the company decided that they would take those brands from us and come and distribute it locally, not even give it to our sister company or any other Ghanaian company to distribute. They themselves come and set up distribution chain here and do that.
So these were people you were importing from?
Exactly.
And then they decided that, hey, this market is big.
Yes.
So let's step in ourselves.
Exactly.
And they took away the right.
And it's happened not only to us, it's happened to our big brothers, NS Chemist, Unicom, and some of the other big farmers.
How would you want the authorities to support made in Ghana pharmaceuticals? What are your suggestions? If you could sit down with the regulatory authorities, what would be your suggestions?
Yes, so like I said, they are supporting us first. And then most of the medicines that because we transition from being importers to manufacturers, there are still other importers who are solely importing. What we are doing together with FDA is I want to do contra manufacturing for them, because the same product that they will import and they will cry over benchmark tariffs and all that, we can produce them locally here at affordable, almost the same price as they bring it in their brand name, whichever packaging or designs that they wanted, we can do it for them. So that will cut down on the number of the imports, which the regulator is seriously supporting. And then the other thing is to set up a bioequivalence center, which will be an area where we can compare our medicines to the innovative ones from elsewhere, so that we can be sure that we are doing the right thing. That again, we are praying for their support. And once those issues are sorted out, I'm sure it will happen so quickly. And then also Ghana, as a government in terms of the institution of governance, should also continue to support the industry. And to Ghanaians, we should trust and believe. I mean, we say that you should know where you manufactured the medicines, or the medicines you buy, you should know where they are manufactured. And Entrance is just seated just off the Spintex Road, close to FDA. So FDA can always walk there to go and see what they are doing. You as a local person also, you can also go there to go and see how Lufad is manufactured, and more Foligo and all that. So
you
can be sure.
You do the tours.
We do. Exactly, we do. So, nice. so you can come.
We should come.
Come as a GTV. Exactly.
There, come and see what's
happening. That would be lovely. So we, and the medicines are also used by us. We do not. I mean, our group CEO, regards to him everywhere he is, other Nana Mutobin, he and his family, Tobinko family and all that, we take the medicines, okay, and by the grace of God, he's an elder in the Church of Pentecost, and he cannot do anything substandard. So beyond that, beyond having a good heart to do that, we also have systems in place. So we are ISO certified, and like I mentioned, we are the only Ghanaian company approaching WHO pre-qualification.
What does that mean?
What that means is that, you remember some time back, Bill and Melinda Gates brought in some cheaper ACTs, 1 CD and things like that. And it was so bad that no Ghanaian company was qualified to manufacture those medicines and send them globally.
What are ACTs?
So ACTs are artemisinin-based combination therapy for malaria,
okay,
including Lufad. Lufad is a typical example. And for those medicines, when international procurement mechanisms are in place, they want to buy from people with some minimum standards. And those standards are WHO standards. So you need to be pre-qualified by WHO. And it's a rigorous procedure, very expensive, very laborious. And people do not have, because you have to open up everything you do to auditing.
Full transparency.
Full transparency. And people are not willing and able to do that. And we have taken a bold step to do that. So that makes us stand up very tall in terms of what we produce. And over time, I'm sure we should make the medicines available to the rest of the world as we get this WHO pre-qualification.
All right, just a couple of quick questions before we wrap up. You said there's a big competition from India. Which other countries are also bringing their drugs into this? Into
so
Ghana?
Asia, the Chinese are coming.
Chinese are coming.
Chinese are coming seriously after the Indians, the Pakistans, and the Bangladeshis, and all those other people are also coming.
Is it
in.
Cost
is the issue? Yes, because they get support from their government. So some of those subsidies, so they just come in here, reduce prices, and compete with us.
So we need to look sharp.
We seriously
need to protect our own as well.
Seriously, because I mean the big guys, we are limited now, and unfortunately they are growing. The leaders are growing. So what becomes of us as the youth of Ghana? So many pharmacy schools now coming up, including our own.
Yeah.
When they finish or complete school, what happens to them? So we seriously need to look at that area. Otherwise, we treat our heritage to foreigners, and we gnash our teeth.
And that should not happen.
That should
and
not happen.
You said you can find your drugs in 12 countries in the sub-region.
Yes, we are, and we are continuously growing. And we have offices in some of the regions where we've taken Ghanaians.
Okay.
The Sierra Leone,
yes, okay.
Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire. We are there. We export to Chad, to Burkina. A lot of
dominating
them.
the francophone countries.
Exactly.
So if you're a pharmacist and you can speak French,
yes,
there's an opportunity for you, right?
Yes, there is a big opportunity for our pharmacists. But we are still doing a bit of the Anglophone Gambia. Okay. We are also looking at entering into Nigeria.
They have not opened their doors to you yet. Or they are trying to protect their own.
They trust Ghanaian products. Okay, but again, it's a big market with a lot of politics around it and all that. So we need to be very strategic before we enter. As we are building capacity around it, that is our next area, because the sub-region really trusts Ghanaian products.
Awesome. Final words, Christopher?
Yes, so I want to say that we have so many products which we cannot mention on this show, but what is so important is that if you're buying a product from Tobinco or Entrance is a manufacturer, Tobinco sells. What is necessary is that you look for the logo of Entrance on a product.
What does the logo look like?
Which is this ISO logo. Around there, and you see the name Entrance written out there.
Okay.
Yes. Once the product has that logo.
Let me have it.
Yes.
Okay. So this, right?
Exactly.
Right there.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the logo.
Yes. Once the product has that logo, you can be rest assured that this is a quality product from Ghana, and we say it is local. It is a local company, but we have a global perspective.
All right.
And beyond achieving so much for Lufat, we have gone ahead to do another product we call Atenate DS, which is also another anti-malaria with added benefit to be able to meet certain markets within Ghana and elsewhere. And so this product is also being launched, both the suspension and the tablet as well. So thank you very much for your kind.
It's a real pleasure. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
That was a pharmacist, Christopher Mensah, Deputy Managing Director for Tobinco Pharmaceuticals Limited. We'll talk about the local manufacturing industry as far as pharmaceuticals are concerned. And this conversation was brought to you by their product, Lufat Tablet and Suspension, which is great for malaria, taken after a fatty meal for 3 days for effective results. It's a brand of anti-malarial you can trust from the market leaders. Tobinco. Lufat is Tobinco's premium gift to Africa against malaria, further endorsed as Product of the Year at the Ghana Pharma Awards 2021. Chris, have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much.
Regards to the team, and let them know that we'll be coming there one day to come and do
that. That will be so grateful to receive.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
You're
watching GTV Breakfast the day after Parliament turned into almost like it was almost like a playground, you know, snatching chairs, screaming, shouting. It's all about the budget and power play and conspiracy theories, and it's just like a big telenovela. And we'll be going into the details in a short while. Your comments on what's happening, let us know. 055-556-1034. If you went to school at Fijai, watch out. Your old students are coming here. We are celebrating 70 years of Fijai Secondary School. We're looking at how we can mobilize the media to fight COVID-19. That's a very interesting conversation. We'll be checking out what's happening in Cape Coast as far as the Farmers' Day holiday, which is tomorrow. And then there's a gentleman who calls himself the Christian Baller. He'll be sitting down with Val to talk music and showbiz. This is GTV Breakfast. We are back with the headlines right after this.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay,
let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Botras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's
Live from the capital, this is The Breakfast Show.
morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate, chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African.
Can I show what is written on the box?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the
Just stand. So what's your pleasure than Botras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate, chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African.
Can I show what is written on the box?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the
Just stand and tell. So what's your pleasure than Botras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you.
$7.13, I really enjoyed that when he was called Batman, and he's now Samini, you know. And Han is a farmer too, he's doing great stuff in the Upper West region, and we'll be pointing to that direction in a short while. But still to come on today's show, rating digital employment in Ghana, Fijai Secondary School at 70. There's a new book, The Judgment Day, by a journalist on something that you may want to be listening to, and then up close with the Christian baller, Scott Evans. But for now, I'm looking at the headlines with my guests. Spokesperson for the National Chief Imam is Sheikh Arimiyahu Shaibu, and I also have a lawyer and a lecturer at UPSA Law School, Justice Abdullah. Gentlemen, good morning. Salam alaikum to all of you. Fantastic. How's our Chief Imam?
Chief Imam is doing fantastic, very well, still old, 102 years, still looking, feeling very strong.
What new projects? What new project is he on right now?
We are supposed to be traveling with Nigeria on Saturday, and that is an invitation, an annual invitation for him to go and lead the celebration of the Prophet's Day.
Okay. So you got your COVID tests and things?
Yeah, I mean, we have to finish all those things.
All those things. Because now every time you're traveling,
hey, I mean,
mask and COVID tests and things like that.
So he's doing very well and still thinking about the nation.
Okay.
Yeah, anything that he thinks can undermine our peace and our essential and more purposeful development.
Okay.
Not just development, yeah, but something that you can really, really say this is purposeful and leading us to grow as a nation, and so also still be connected with God.
He's a busy man, and I'm impressed. And Justice, good to have you on the set.
Yeah, thank you, Kafri. I love being in your new studios,
yes.
And it's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
I wish to be every morning. I think
this is listening.
It's because it's very brightening, and I think it would have a lot of impact on my day.
Fantastic. We love to hear that.
I least expected this from GT.
Oh, we are happy. We're here to serve. We're here to serve. How's the world of law? How's the world of lecturing?
It's been very difficult, very tough, considering all the hullabaloo about admissions and the opening up of the law schools and the supervisory jurisdictions of the General Legal Council and how things are moving. The 499 students, I would have to occasionally defend it almost everywhere, and then also sometimes explain things almost everywhere.
How does it work? Do you get the quota of that 499?
Luckily for us, the 499 are being admitted, I think, come December, January. So I was of the opinion that indeed they ought to be admitted, and so the writing has been done by the General Legal Council, and I applaud them for that, because it's not easy for a powerhouse like that to change his mind, yield to pressure. It doesn't work that easily. And so for doing that, I think we should rather commend them for that rather than condemning them.
Okay.
And I look forward to a more fruitful and better looking General Legal Council.
Okay.
That would be, serving the 21st century legal system rather than still looking backwards to the 1960s when this was established.
Which was over 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at a couple of headlines in the news. Business analysts leads with Minority Caucus rejects majority's approval of the 2022 budget, files motion in this regard. The status of budget proposals unclear again. That's on the parliamentary political side of things. Ghana also records first cases of Omicron variant of the COVID-19. Government under pressure to drop taxes on fuel prices. And Doomsaw has destroyed all my home appliances, says the Santihini. So that's the business analyst. And by the way, I understand that parts of Ashanti will experience some 20 days of power outage. So more appliances will be under threat. Now, Business Finder leads with redesign procurement system to support local entrepreneurs, TUC. And SkyTrain project possible, but not in 3 years, says the Minister for Mr. John Peter Amewu. But the big story has to be what is going on in Parliament with respect to the budget. And I'm looking at the trends in Twitter. Joe Wise is trending, is acting speaker. We also have Ajwa Safo trending. She's supposed to have been impersonated. That is the allegation. And of course, vigorously denied. NDC MPs is trending. Minority is trending. And those are the top trends in the news today. I'll start with justice. What do you make of what's happening in Parliament these couple of days?
I wish to use a word everybody has been using, very interesting, but I don't think it is very interesting. I think this is how we are evolving as a nation, and it's a clarion call, particularly on all the political divide, that the days of having extreme majority on one side is completely gone. And so we are at this stage of our life where we have to employ more dialogue and more positive engagement with each other if we look forward to develop this country to the stage that we wish it to be. And that would involve a lot of dialogue. It would involve a lot of hard talk between the sides to come out with that cutting-edge solution to our problems. Anything short of that, you would have, at least for the next 3 years, you'll be confronted with the kind of challenges that we have today. And I do not know how that will lead, where that will lead us to. Because for the next 3 years, we are going to have this split or hung parliament, as people would want to call it, for the next 3 years. And what that will mean is that unless that positive steps are taken by each side to engage the other on the way forward, no single decision can be taken by this government going forward. And this is real. It is real, particularly if you look at the level of anger displayed by both sides, the display of ego on each side, and somehow the unpalatable misconduct on each side. All these would play out almost every single day. None of the sides is going to simply yield to pressure from the other side. The only way things can be done right, the only way both sides can, particularly for the NDC side, would throw in the towel and say, well, I'm not throwing the towel, but the only time they will probably accept anything from the governing party, I believe, would be where they are more or less be a bit humble and accept proposals from the other side and imbibe that into whatever policies, decisions that the governing party would like to do. If you do not do that, you do not at this moment have the level of majority that you need in Parliament to govern. And if you do not have Parliament, you'll be stagnant because you will never have money to run this country. And if you do not have money to run this country, you are a useless administration because you need resources, you need decisions our constitution is created such that the executive cannot do anything without parliamentary approval. There are very few things that the executive can do without parliamentary approval. And to that extent, if you really want to make that positive stride, you need to engage Parliament. Engaging Parliament would mean that having that positive dialogue, ensuring that they buy into your decisions, your ideas. The only way they will do that is for you to also give something in return.
Okay.
And these things happen every day elsewhere.
So hand go hand come, compromise,
I mean,
lower
everybody
the temperature.
You can never lower the temperature, you can never compromise unless that level of humility comes in.
Okay.
You need to have that sense of responsibility to accept the reality. You need to accept it that this is where we are now as a country.
Let me bring in Sheikh. Sheikh, we've had almost a hung parliament since the election results were declared in 2020. Why now? Why are the MPs not seeing eye to eye across the divide? I mean, the appointments went through. They managed to agree amongst themselves that we are going to approve all these appointments. They've done things together, but all of a sudden on this issue, we can see this cleavage. What's going on?
It's sad. For me, it's sad. One must be courageous to say that. It's so sad that those into whose hands we have entrusted our sovereignty, in fact, they are trustees or stewards of our sovereignty, that which myself and others have thoughtfully given to them. So they will be the managers of our. And for me to observe this chaos in our parliament, those who are the makers of our laws, they're supposed to give us the basis for order in society. But for them to break down and to come low to this level, from the time of the choice of the Speaker of Parliament to this time, I have seen with sadness, my heart bleeds seriously, that I have seen in our parliament, parliamentarians that have chased each other, one snatching ballot papers, and the other side chasing to beat in parliament. I am a teacher. I've been but always a teacher. I'm the type who's in the classroom, I maintain order. When I'm in charge, I want to be in charge. This is a place where you have a leadership, and the leadership cannot even control. These are the people who must give us discipline. And I see the tone, voice raised in parliament, this shouts across the divide. The least that one can say is very sad. It's very sad. And if any one of them is listen to me, and I say, in a society where we are so divided sharply in the way that it is now, you need a middle line voices of decency that can courageously bring society back to order.
Which voices will those voices be?
And there are those who are non-partisan. You see, and secondly, and it's a play out of the disadvantages of partisan politics, which we have failed to deal with, because partisan politics is a necessary evil. By the very rules of our democracy in our constitution, we must have political parties. But it doesn't rule out the disadvantages. Partisan politics is so divisive, it's selfish, it's partisan, and that's why you can see our nation now sharply divided on almost everything. Now, the literal understanding that of opposition that influences the mindset is to punch and to get you disadvantaged. So in your disadvantage, I gain advantage. So it's not so much about what is good for the nation. But if we can figuratively use opposition to mean partnership, to mean collaboration, that's when you see what justice is saying. That we depart from this idea of being opposing to dialogue. And mind you, dialogue, what dialogue is not, is that dialogue is not necessarily negotiation. Dialogue is not necessarily debate. You see, to debate is to really bring the issues and to attempt to outdo you. Show my strength of logic, my intelligence, that I'm superior. in that. Negotiation has to do with, we said it takes 2 or more to negotiate. Is to say, look, win-win, so give me this and give me that. It's not so much about the broader interest.
Okay.
No, that is not. And that's when dialogue becomes the best and the choicest of approach.
So more dialogue is needed, less ego.
More dialogue. And that's why we beat down the ego. Because, you see, dialogue has got its own spirit. That's why I'm saying it is not negotiation, it is not debate. Dialogue is when you have decided, in the midst of disagreement, you come together in order to lessen the sharpness of the differences and coagulate around the common interest.
Okay, these are points I want you to keep in mind as we go to the lines now to speak with the Honourable Member of Parliament for Boku Central, Mahama Ayariga. Good morning. Welcome to GTV Breakfast. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I am very, very well. And we were watching scenes from Parliament yesterday with respect to the conversation around the budget. What is the latest that you can report to the good people of Ghana?
I heard a bit of the excerpts about a lecture on dialogue and negotiations and whatnot. I mean, I don't know what it is that people don't understand. Basically, electronic transaction levy is like the government taking a gun and going on the electronic highway, and if any citizen passes his money on that highway, government will forcefully take 1.75%. That's all that it is. If I pass my capital through that platform, government will take 1.75% without doing anything. That's basically what it is. And we're saying that you can't do that. You can't just get on the electronic. You can just stand on the, Kumasi Accra highway, and any trader who's passing with his money to the next town to go and buy goods, government will say, please, give me 1.7% of your capital. That's at the bottom of it, what it's all about. It is a tax on people's capital, a tax on people's remittances to their family. So my family is sitting somewhere, I'm working in another part of the country. I can't be traveling every weekend to go and hand the money over to them. Then, the telco develop a platform, government licenses them, government is collecting fees for licensing them, government is taxing them for providing the service. They are partly passing the tax on to me. And then when I pass the money on the platform of the telecos, government sounds on that highway again, say, look, please, whatever amount you send, please, I'm taking 1.75% of it, if it is about 100 Ghana cedis. We're saying that this doesn't make sense. This is regressive. This is just a tax on people's capital. Find some other way of looking for money. Don't turn yourself into, a state-sanctioned arm and just stand on the highway, and anybody passing there with his money, you take it.
What's your alternative, Mr. Yariga?
Go and tax the telecos. Go and tax the banks. The banks were putting so much money, during the COVID. Go and tax the IT companies. They were making so much money during the COVID. Don't tax, don't take the capital of ordinary people. You want to support, do business. Do you take people's money forcefully so that you can support young people to do business? Because the money is already in the young people that are doing their business. And you're just going to stand on the highway and take part of the money of these young people who are doing business. A lot of young ladies have resorted to, selling goods and services and then having the money paid because they cannot afford to go and pay, 20 years, goodwill for a shop. When you want to rent a shop, you have to pay goodwill 20, 30 years. And so the young lady said, okay, fine. I can use the electronic highway and then do my trading and everything on it. People call me. I say, okay, pay to Momo, and then I will have it delivered to you. I have somebody with a motorbike. I bring the goods and I store it in my house. That is how the young ladies are surviving. And you will just go and stand on that highway. When they pass their capital through the highway, then you will just take 1.75% of it without doing anything for them.
So that obviously is a big issue for you. What else was...
It's a big issue, and we're saying that, look, get away from that. Find some other way of finding money. Don't reduce the state to an official arm robber on the electronic highway, seizing people's money, left and right.
As it stands...
About negotiation, we don't know about negotiation. You know what we asked for.
So as it stands right, as it stands right now, there doesn't seem to be any movement away from the e-levy. So what can the minority do?
We don't accept the e-levy. We'll keep fighting it. If you force your way and do what you want to do, that is your business. The public is watching. The citizens are watching. We won't compromise on e-levy, something like that.
Now let's just take a look back at what happened there was quite some amount of chaos in Parliament yesterday. I saw pictures of an MP grabbing the Speaker's chair and a lot of confrontation. What exactly is going on in Parliament, and is there any hope that you can sit down together and resolve issues amicably?
Well, if there's room for engagement, I believe that there'll be engagement. I mean, at the end of the day, we are not fighting against e-levy so that only NDC members will stop paying e-levy. We are fighting against e-levy so that every citizen will not pay e-levy. It's simple as that. So it's not a partisan fight. It's a fight based on national interest. You're also claiming that you are fighting to impose e-levy so that you can develop the country for all of us. I mean, make your case before the public. At the end of the day, the public thinks that when you collect e-levy, you indeed develop the country for the rest of us instead of funding the lavish lifestyles of the political elite. They will take a decision. Now, in the House, I can assure you that if we all play by the rules, everybody will respect the rules. But if you undermine the rules, then the rules will not be there to protect you. The rules are like a forest. I remember my A-level literature. We read a book called A Man for All Seasons. I mean, where he likened the laws to be like a forest. If you cut the forest, you know, to get your opponent, when the winds come, the forest will not be there to protect you. So if you undermine the rules, and then other people also start undermining the same rules, the rules will not be there to protect you. So the rules regarding how decisions are made, how decisions are set aside in the parliament, are all rules. So if you undermine those ones, then the rules that say that, you know, don't be violent will also be undermined. And then when you start shouting, oh, why are you being violent? Forgetting that you also undermine some aspects of the rules. So that's how the system should work. Don't undermine the rules. Going to undermine them. Others will also undermine other aspects. And then there will be chaos. The rules are like a forest.
Right.
They are there to protect all of us.
Okay, so from what you're saying, it looks like the whole conversation is now boiled down to a single issue, e-levy. Is that correct?
Exactly. That's all it is about. Trust me. There is nothing less, nothing more. That's where it is about. If government doesn't make a move, doesn't move on that one, it's most unlikely that the NDC will also not make a move on any other thing. Because the finance minister has had several opportunities to indicate clearly if he's making a movement on the e-levy. And he's consistently been very evasive. The day he came and said, oh, he wanted us to engage, we said, no, we are not engaging you anywhere. Come to the floor of the House and let us know what you have to offer. He didn't offer anything except to say, oh, I want to engage. So we were able to tell him, I will engage you privately. Especially after Joy FM had put out a story that, you know, you still have a way of getting us to agree to do what you want to do. So we didn't want to engage you, and the circumstances where it will be reported that we've been compromised. So come to the floor of the House, put before the whole nation offer. Then we can now start engagement based on the offer that you have put on the table. He didn't do that when he had the opportunity. Then even when we walked out and your side purported to have set aside the rejection of the budget, you were still given an opportunity to at least indicate. And you knew very well that our central issue was the e-levy. You came and you were making offers on other matters. Thank you very much for those offers. But you know that our central issue is the e-levy. Again, you were evasive about the e-levy. You never put before the nation exactly what the movement is on the e-levy. So the majority group should stop pretending that we are refusing to engage. We've given you every opportunity. Let's engage publicly. It's not a private matter that you say we should go engage in private. It's a public matter. It's Ghanaians. I probably can pay e-levy. But can all my constituents pay e-levy? You are the ones I'm fighting for. So put it before them. Let them hear you make some offer. Then we can now step aside to discuss your offer. But if you don't make your offer known to us, we never sit aside with you to engage on any e-levy. Before tomorrow, we are told that we're bought or compromised or something of that sort.
So what you want is 100% removal of the e-levy. Is that correct?
That's our initial stand.
Good.
But you go to negotiations, and then you know very well that you can't go and get everything that you want. We are human. So we start from our position that we don't want e-levy, because that's what our constituents are saying. If you make an offer, we'll go back to our constituents and say, well, this is what they are offering. What do you think?
And if by the end of, if you don't get what you want, are there any assurances that on the 1st of January 2022, there'll be money for government to run the business of the country?
This morning, when you pay taxes. Yesterday, when the traders went to the port to, clear the goods, they pay taxes. Taxes are being paid every day. Those that have already been lawfully approved are being paid. And they are available to be used by the state to pay salaries and government expenses. And under Article 180 of our Constitution, I mean, if the budget is not yet approved or is not yet ready, the president can come to Parliament, and within a few hours, we can pass a resolution giving authorization for the next 3 months to pay salaries and then pay government expenses and other government commitments out of what is already coming in. So all that lies that, have been put out that, oh, we want to cripple the country and that, salaries cannot be paid. They are all like, they know that. We've run this country before. We know how the country is run. So the country is run according to our Constitution. Go and look at the 180 of the Constitution.
So are you prepared? Are you prepared for it to get to that level? Are you prepared for it to get to that level where the president will have to do what it is necessary for that 3 months cover to be provided?
Pardon?
Are you prepared for things to get to that level where the president will have to do what is constitutionally required for him to get that money to take care of salaries for the next 3 months into the new year? Is that where you want to get things to?
It is a contingency that is anticipated by our Constitution. Our Constitution anticipates that there may be a day when there will be disagreement over the budget, or for some other reason, the budget will delay. And if that delay happens, the Constitution has made provision for a 3-month period when you can make arrangements under the Constitution to make sure that salaries are paid. So it's not that. It can happen. The Constitution anticipated that the framers, as far back as, how many years ago when they made the Constitution, anticipated that and put it there.
Okay.
And so if the day comes, our founding fathers anticipated that day. So we'll go according to what arrangements have been made for that day. If it is for a just cause.
What can we look forward to in Parliament today? I mean, yesterday was drama. What can we look? Can things be more serene today?
I hope that the majority side and then the finance minister have some offer to make. I'm told. Yesterday I was on another program with the information minister, and then the finance minister is addressing the press today. So if he addresses the press and he makes some good offers to Ghanaian citizens, and we consult widely, and our constituents and the generality of Ghanaians think that they can live with whatever he is requesting, we move on. The most important thing you people must realize is that a democracy is not necessarily a machine for approving, everything. You can't use democracy to legitimate everything. If democracy's function is simply to sit and legitimate everything, then people will begin to feel that then democracy is not worth it. It is the ability of the democratic system to sieve out things and eliminate excesses that will make people to continue to have faith in democracy. So those who are saying, oh, what you are doing is threatening the system, really, it is what we are doing that is rather fortifying and legitimating the system so that the ordinary citizen will have confidence that, oh, don't worry, don't resort to violence, don't take up a gun, don't support any soldier, because as for Parliament, if the thing is bad, they will fight until the thing is removed. So Parliament has that capacity to correct the executive. The judges have that capacity to check the executive and to check Parliament. If people lose confidence in the court as a place where justice will prevail, and they lose confidence in Parliament as the place that can check the excesses of the executive, democracy is just waiting for some adventurer to come and kick it aside, and there will be popular support. I'm in the ECOWAS Parliament. I go around the sub-region. I saw what happened in Mali. I was physically in Mali the day the shooting started. I was there when the coup occurred. I was there actually to mediate to prevent the coup because we anticipated it. So those making noise, oh, what you are doing is threatening democracy, is because they don't know, or they are just, propagandists, who have been, engaged to represent to the public and then to make unpopular the position of the minority.
Right.
What we are doing is rather what is securing the integrity of our democracy, that the system is capable of working and checking itself.
All right. We'll leave it here. I wish you a fruitful day in Parliament today. The Honourable Member of Parliament for Boku Central, Mahama Ayariga, speaking to us right here on GTV Breakfast. What do you make of what he has said? 055-556-1034. It appears that the e-levy is the single issue that is on the minds, exercising the minds of the minority. Justice, your thoughts, your views, your opinions on what you just heard.
I do not think Mahama Ayariga has represented the entire facts to us because the minority caucus put out a statement making a series of demands, and those series of demands were not simply the issue of the e-levy.
Maybe things have changed.
It included other things.
Yes,
things have changed,
this seems to be the major one.
No, if things have changed, the same medium of communication that was used have to be employed, because you cannot take the information from a group of persons, from different persons at every point in time, and then the tables keep changing. It can't be that. It has to be the same formal medium that was used to communicate to us. If you have changed your position, let us know that you have indeed changed your position so that we all move forward. That is not to say that if things have changed, it is any bad. Yeah. At the end of the day, what we expect is what would adhere to the benefit of the entirety of the Ghanaian. And it's not just a section of the Ghanaians, i.e. NPP or NDC. It is for our collective good. When the earlier position was that the tidal waves, Kita tidal waves, would have to be taken care of in the budget, I thought it was a good thing. I don't live in Keita. I don't have any family in Keita. But they are Ghanaians. They need to be protected. Some people are losing their life and property. Those people need that kind of protection. So if an NDC comes to say that the government should do this, why would I support that? It's a brilliant idea. These are people who deserve to be supported and protected. If the NDC says that there shouldn't be e-levy, obviously the reasons they are offering are very logical. They make a lot of sense, legal sense and indeed factual sense. Because the barest meaning of the principles of taxation is that you are taxed based on the income. And I do not see how it is an income when, like Mama said, when it's my capital saved on my, what's it called? My phone. How do you tax that? I pay 2%, 1% for sending, 1% for withdrawing. And then government comes to take additional 7.5% from this same amount. So literally, instead of paying over 1,000 cedis that I send to my mother, which is not an income, to support her for maybe hospitalization or other things, instead of paying 20 cedis, now I would have to pay more than 50 Ghana cedis for the same thing. Of what sense? As a matter of fact, paying taxes using Momo, which is the new trend that is coming. If I'm paying tax using Momo, I'll still have to pay tax on the tax that I'm paying.
Tax on tax.
How does it make any sense? So if an NDC is saying this, I wouldn't have to be grudging because it's coming from an NDC. Neither would I have to be grudging because it's coming from someone else who, it is logical, it makes a lot of sense, and I support this wholeheartedly. They put out other matters, like the withdrawal of a Japa deal. Well, I haven't heard the arguments against the party, but if we are going by the logical sequence of events, right, from the days of the first prosecutor for the office of the... Obviously, if you go by that, then there's a challenge. If they are saying that the ACA deal should be revisited and reviewed, I think they would say this only because out of legitimate reasons. They haven't advanced any strong argument to the best of my knowledge. If there is any, I'm yet to find it. But if the person is asking just simply to review this decision, so that it inures to the benefit of all of us, I do not see anything wrong with that.
Is it because majorities have been used to bulldozing issues through because of their numbers?
That's what I said earlier. That, in the past when you used to have 164,
you didn't need to speak
you didn't need to do this. But now, I think both sides are actually losing sight of this fact, this reality.
Things have changed.
That things have completely changed. And this is a time that we need to have dialogue. And in this the reason why I see the NDC being this intransigent is because of how the ministers were approved. You realize how they were bastardized.
They were also part, yes, they were part of that action. And people,
but they were bastardized for it because
so.
it was so obvious that some people didn't deserve to be ministers.
But they were wholesale passed.
Wholesale passage. Everybody just sailed through. And so I think that is on the back of their minds that if things go the same way, some of them may never even come back. I mean, this is real. I mean, and the truth is that, I mean, beyond the fact that they were bastardized, I think it was just logical that several of those people shouldn't have been ministers. They shouldn't be called honorable members. I mean, those who are ministers today. But for whatever reasons, they got through. And the accusations were not just bastardization. There were also accusations of money's exchanging hands. I mean, all these accusations, false or truth, it happened. And so you have this NDC with this mindset, clearly
saying never again.
Obviously, nobody would want to go through this a second time. No one would want to go through it a second time. So, in fact, that is why if you heard Mama Yaga, saying that he doesn't want to engage the minister in any caucus meeting. He wants it right on the floor of Parliament. Why? Because they fear the same accusations about bastardization would crop up again.
See, let's see what happens when he does his press conference today. The finance minister will see whether there will be
absolutely. I mean, because really, I ask myself, so what does the majority or the government loses if they yield to some of these suggestions?
Maybe some small ego.
I mean, that's why for all the
what did you lose?
My very good friend Ayaraga, from all that he said, I mean, from the angle of the confrontation where we've developed, he ended on a note that, I mean, he hopes that we engage. That engagement in what we are saying, that given these are people that we've entrusted our whole sovereignty in their hands. Now, because of the closeness of our strength in terms of those in government and those opposition, the closeness is what is playing out in what is happening in the parliament. Now, the other one says, I will do it. The other one says, I will resist. Now, given that they bring to the fore the broader interest of the country, cool heads must prevail and find a way of dialoguing around the issues. That's the point that we are making. Because if the confrontation continues, they will be also losing the very functions for which they have all been placed in the parliament. They must be able to end the debate so that the country can move forward. So if they really want to arrive at the very basis of their presence in the parliament, then there must be a shift from just the confrontational approach to dialogue. And secondly, I will insist, it is very unpalatable and very bad that young politicians in our country or up and coming or future politicians will see what is happening in our parliament today. Complete disrespect to each other, disregard and disobedience to leadership.
So you saw the guy dragging the speaker's chair.
I mean, look, I'm a father. I'm a father.
A year ago, somebody was chewing in the same parliament.
I wish you could call Mr. Nogbe and ask him why he dragged the chair. Apparently he's the MP for Ashaiman.
Yeah, MP for Ashaiman. Coincidentally, that guy was my student at UPSC.
No, he must tell us why he was doing that.
These are friends that we know. Some of them are very close. That we enter into the mosque together, into the church together. We come close. We engage. And even our religions, for example, we will not educate us, miseducate us to behave the way we are doing. For example, if you take me as a Muslim, I'm an imam, I mount the pulpit. Look, the authority and the mandate given to me, once I mount the pulpit and begin to deliver, all the Muslims must be silent and listen to me. And that is the order. That is why I'm put in front as an imam. And whatever I do, my followers do. It doesn't mean that even if I instruct the wrong things. But in a parliament like this, where we are the enactors, or if you like, the creators or the makers of law, and law are intended to bring order into society, then we ourselves must live up to those principles. So I want to insist that even in the midst of such sharp disagreements, there must be a way by which we are able to arrive at a certain consensus. And consensus can only be arrived at when we dialogue. So the word here, given the strength of the closeness of both opposition and is to Arab dialogue. And I also insist that let us reject the mindset of the literal translation of opposition. And I think that they are there. They can also mean that they are collaborators and they are partners. So
as a matter of fact, in reality, they are the alternatives.
The alternatives. The alternatives.
So they are not entirely opposition.
That's why I was
opposition.
asking Mr. What is your alternative to the
you see, so that mindset and that mindset of literal translation of this thing makes them confrontational. I'm not saying confrontational in terms of NDC. No. Both the majority and the opposition. I have the strength. I want to do it, even when there are all reasons that look, you can even soften the position in order to accommodate some of the concerns of the opposition. You say, no, I have members. Because it's not, the majority can always not be right. That one we must understand. And the opposition must also understand that. You see, he made a certain point, which I find unacceptable. In Akan, I'm not Akan, but I'm sure those of you who are Akans can say it better. Say, Yefum Kuma. In English, what it means is that two wrongs do not make a right. Because I did the wrong thing, you also have to do the wrong thing. So when we all do the wrong thing, so who is right? Well, so because we are all doing the wrong thing, now this general society is suffering.
Well, the budget was rejected with 137 votes and then approved with another 137 votes.
Well, that matter is now in court.
It's now in court, yeah.
So maybe we can leave.
And I think also the something is that sometimes the language that we use to say, okay, I would say the cup is half full than say it's half empty.
Okay.
So, okay, we commend this aspect, but this area we have a concern. Can we all sit down around it and see what we can do? In other words, we are not rejecting, giving a language as if we are rejecting everything. But there are good things in there. Okay. But it's only this percentage that we find issue with. Right. Can we sit down and talk about it?
Can we sit down and talk about issues? That's the question from my guest.
Let me just correct this
briefly. Yes.
Yeah, briefly. Mama Yaga creates the impression that it is not true and that he thinks that people are propagating falsehood when he says that by not approving the budget, the government will grind to a halt. Actually, it's not propaganda. It's the truth. What he is talking about as the government coming for 3 months stopgap measure is indeed, as the word is, it's a stopgap. It only allows the government to borrow and pay just statutory commitments, i.e. salaries and other regular outgoings. The government cannot develop its policies out of that 3-month stopgap measure that is given by Parliament, because that cannot be used for any road construction, cannot be used for building hospitals or other infrastructure.
Getting to that point just presupposes that something serious has already happened.
Absolutely. Because, so it is never a propaganda. Neither is it untrue that is, in fact, that is a reality. It only allows the government to pay, like he said, salaries. That's all about it. And so the country indeed grinds to a halt. If you're only paying salaries and nothing more, I mean, is that how to run a country? You run a country holistically. It's not just about payment of salaries.
Let's get your questions on the thoughts of Justice Abdullahi and Sheikh Aramiyal Shaibu, 055-556-1034, Ibn from Kwabenya. So can the executive and the MPP majority group swallow their ego a bit? Governance is not about being all-knowing. Sometimes you need to dialogue and build consensus to achieve your goals. So they should get it done, because the minority group is not going to always allow them to have their way, as happened in the past. And you are saying regards to Nitaki, Ayijanku, Mahdi, Jibril, and Nana Ampim. Those are your friends that you want us to say hello to. Okay, a couple more. Thank you so much. Kafui and GTV, you've done really well by bringing in these two panelists. We're listening to wisdom. The lawyer is well grounded, and the imam also knows what he's talking about. We need such people as panelists all the time. This is Kujo Usu shouting you out. He's the chairman of Kumasi Cloud. So, yeah. So thank you very much for that. Yes, we choose the best panelists just for you. Keep them coming in 055-556-1034, and we'll look at, before I go to Valerie, we'll look at a couple of, just one more story, unless Valerie is ready for me. Just a couple of headlines for you. Ghana records first cases of Omicron variant. Government under pressure to drop taxes on fuel prices. Dumso has destroyed all my home appliances, says Santehele. I need to check that story out. Free Zones Enterprises record $1 billion export revenue in the half year. Government pays 5.7 billion cedis of old debts to SNIT. And rice millers are pushing for a policy to encourage local rice consumption. Today we're talking about local pharmaceuticals production. Yes, everything must go local. We must eat local rice, use local drugs, and present the show with local chicks. Like Valerie.
Did you have to say that? No. Okay, so you know, yesterday we were in the central region, Farmers Day is coming up tomorrow, and that's where it's going to be coming to you live from, and the Breakfast Show team is going to be there. And so our guy Alan is already on the ground, and he's at the exhibition venue. He's saying that we have a plethora of people already lined up. We have farm owners, we have farmers, we have people who have been taxed to farm and weed the farms and get paid. Hey, it's a whole lot of information. So Alan is on my screen. Alan, good morning. What's happening in Cape Coast?
Hi, good morning, Valerie. Thank you very much for coming to us. Cape Coast is quiet. It's a sunny, bright sunny morning here at the exhibition grounds. It's the 37th Farmers Day celebration tomorrow, and the whole of the week has been packed with activities. And so yesterday we came to you from the Kotokraba market, where we interacted with a few market traders who deal directly with farmers and those who have middle men who also work with the farmers before they get their produce to the markets as well as to our plate. Now here representing every other aspect of agriculture, and so you have the landowners, you have the settler farmers, and then you have the farmers who own their land, and then you have agri-finance companies, and a major among them is the ADB. I must also put on record, or I must also bring to your attention that we are collaborating with GBC Radio Central, and so at some point Kofi, who is with Radio Central, will be joining me to help with the interviews of those we've lined up for. Kofi, please join me quickly. Kofi is with Radio Central. As I mentioned, let me go on with the list for you. And so you have farmers of every variety. You have rice farmers, you have livestock, you have fish farmers, and then you also have manufacturers or those who are into agri-chemicals. You have manufacturers who are into agri-chemicals. You also have those who double as agri-chemical manufacturers, as well as need extension officers. And so what they do is they don't only support these farmers with their chemicals, they also assist them in the best ways to apply them and also monitor them until such a time when the time is due for harvesting. We have a few lined up. Also, you have those who deal as extensions from the farms, and so you have Ghana's Egg, Ghana Egg Association of Ghana Eggs. I think I'm getting that wrong, but there, yeah. Yes, Kofi is the Kofi. Welcome. Good morning.
Well, Daryl, good morning. I think it's a pleasurable morning.
Sure.
You know, Cape Coast Central Region is the citadel of excellence.
Sure.
You know, definitely you can see from the hills of Adisadel. So it means that we are in a hill of knowledge. Definitely something good is coming on. So at the end of the day, as you rightly indicated, we are going to speak to these people. We are people from the aquaculture. You know, the ocean is fast depleting our fish stock. So our RMB is also here. We are going to talk to the National Eggs campaign coordinator. Yes. Definitely, people have even the produce that we are doing. They are doing mushroom farming. You know, those days, farming used to be the preserve, excuse my language, to the people who have not even been to school. But today, we have graduates who are venturing into such things. So we are giving you bits and takes for all these things. So once they are ready, we are going to talk to them.
So let's bring on the Ghana Eggs campaign, and then we'll take it from there. So joining us currently will be the Ghana Eggs campaign team. They are very well represented at the 37th Farmers Day celebration. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good.
I see you're carrying a crate of eggs. Why eggs campaign?
Yeah, eggs are very beneficial. We want everybody to know that the egg is a superfood. And if you take an egg in the morning, it will carry you almost through the whole day, because egg has that satiety. When you eat it, you feel so full, and you don't even feel like eating any other thing. Egg has a lot of benefits. I'm here with the resource person and nutrition officer from the Ghana Health Service, and he will say a little bit about the importance of eggs.
Thank you very much. Let me go to him quickly. Please tell me your name, sir.
Yeah, I'm Seth Brackon, a nutritionist at Ghana Health Service Central Region.
would you tell us about the benefits of eggs and when is the best time to eat eggs?
Okay, you can eat eggs at any time. Yeah, and for the benefit, let me...
Please look into my camera. Please.
For the benefit, I would just want to mention one very important benefit. We are in an era where we are having pandemics, infections here and there. There are substances in the egg, food nutrients, selenium, vitamin A, and others, that will go to strengthen the immune system. You can take the vaccine, all right, but if your immune system is weak, you cannot optimally, or the body cannot optimally make use of the vaccine. So we are saying that the egg is very important. It helps build our immune system. So let's take it.
What's the best time to eat eggs? What's the best time?
You can eat eggs at any time that you feel you want to eat it.
Who benefits most from eggs, children or adults?
Everybody, especially children and women. Children, because there is a special protein in egg. It's actually referred to as reference protein. The protein in eggs is actually referred to as reference protein, right, because it's of superior quality. And the children need this to grow and grow well.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I see you have a flyer that's got a picture of a young chap with so many things listed around it. I'll get my camera person to quickly zoom in on that for us for the benefit of our viewers this morning. If you can pick this for me, and I'll say thank you, and then I'll bring on the snail farmer and the mushroom farmer. Ma'am, no, you stay with me. We need to get that. We need to get that on TV.
This is the summary of the benefits of eggs. So if you see this, we have a lot of flyers on our table of this kind. Please come over and pick one. We also have a cookbook made to show you the different dishes you can prepare with eggs.
Thank you very much.
Ghanaians, we only boil or fry. But here we are, we have egg soup, egg stew, egg in poto, egg everything.
Fantastic.
So you come, it's free.
Thank
come and pick one and give it to your wife in the kitchen.
Thank you very much.
Yourself.
That's the Ghana Egg Campaign there for you. Do everything eggs. Thank you very much, Mom, for joining us. Do you please join me quickly, and then we take you as well. You're speaking into my camera. Good morning and tell us things.
Good morning. My name is Kenny Mano.
Benis, I see you carrying it. Do you want to set it down, please, just so you don't get tired? Set it down for us. In your crate, I see snails. I see what looks like a covered polythene, and then smoked fish. Do you want to tell us about them?
Okay, so we're into snail farming, we're into mushroom farming, we're into catfish farming.
Okay.
And then the business is a fully young graduates that operate in this business.
How long does it take to breed a snail to the point where it will be good for your table?
At least 12 to 15 months, it should be ready for the table. That's for the snail.
What do you feed snails?
You feed them with anything vegetable, anything green. They're naturally herbivores, so anything green, they consume it. But then, going forward as a graduate, we've also come up with a snail feed formulation, which we feed them with the snails, which would increase their egg laying and then their rate of growing.
My sister, tell me something. I see the snail has a bit of different colors. Why will that be? I understand they hate pipe water.
Yes, please. And please, for the snails, my brother is the most chief.
Tell me what you do then.
Well, okay, I know of the mushroom and then the smoked fish.
Okay. With the mushroom, why are they covered in a polythene?
Okay, for now it's not ready. So if you are ready to use it, you cut the top and then you sprinkle water. You put it in the shade. You sprinkle water on it in the morning and then in the evening, so that after 3 days it will start shooting, and then after 1 week you start harvesting.
You only harvest after a week? Yes. That's absolutely awesome. Okay, so tell me something. With the snails, I mentioned how the shells are a bit discolored. What accounts for that?
Okay, so naturally in their habitat, they rely on the rainfall. Okay. But then since we are keeping them home, we are giving them pipe on water, and then because the chlorine in the pipe on water, it discolors their shells. And so consistently use the pipe on water will end up making them lose their color completely. Okay. Yes, and but then we have gone a step further, and I'm doing what we call the frozen snail, and so we add value to the raw snail. And so it's good if you're into snail farming, you could get either a dike out water, a stream, a river, something, other source of water apart from the pipe water, so they can be using it on your snails. Right. Yeah.
I hear snails also attract snakes. How true is that?
It's a fallacy.
It's a fallacy. There's no iota of truth in that. Okay, thank you very much. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a tall list of exhibitors here present with us who are we're going to be speaking to every now and then. Just to bring you into it, this show is fully represented from all the way from the landowners to your plate. This is the 37th Farmers Day anniversary celebration here in Cape Coast. Just before I go away, let me bring on R&B Farms. Kofi will take them quickly and then we'll hand over to you in Accra.
Well, definitely the 37th edition of the Farmers Day is under the theme, we are planting for food and jobs, consolidating food systems in Ghana. That is the theme. FFB, we are talking about aquaculture. What can you tell us about R&B Farms who are into aquaculture?
Thank you very much. R&B Farms is a fully integrated fish farm, and it's an indigenous firm, meaning that it is owned by Ghanaians. Currently, it's the biggest inland fish farm, and we are happy to tell you that we won the best national fish farmer of the year.
Fantastic. That is great.
Thank you. We culture mainly catfish and tilapia. And we say it's a fully integrated fish farm because we spawn the eggs of the fish to get the fingerlings, as we call it, the small fish. And then we culture them to bigger fish, as you know. We have a storage facility, cold store, and we have a village that the market women come and weigh their fish and smoke it and take it away. We are the first people to engineer having the catfish in cartons, like you have the redfish in the country. And our vision is in the near future, we are going to can catfish in the country.
Definitely, the youth plays a very important role in this whole episode. How are you nurturing the youth so that they can venture into aquaculture?
Thank you very much. That is the main vision of R&B Farms. R&B's main vision is to provide jobs for the youth and women in the various communities in Ghana. That's the reason why R&B has a aquaculture training program. With the aquaculture training program, the youth and women come in, stay for 2 or 3 weeks training. We have a training facility, we have hostel, we have canteen for the staff and the trainees who will come on board. You stay there for 2-3 weeks, go through the training, practical training, how to culture the fish, how to change the water, how to feed the fish, and you go to the classroom, learn the fish health and all the aspects of fish farming. And then you learn how to even blend the ingredients of the fish, of the feed that we give to the fish. Once you are done, you move to your village or your town or wherever it is. You go with sizable tarpaulin tanks, you go with your fish fingerlings and your feed and set up your own. You can do the same thing at your backyard.
Awesome. Really? Awesome. Where can we find you?
We are at Gombon Swahim. It's about 15 minutes drive from Winneba Junction on your way to Swedro.
Fantastic. So that's what it is. We will come to you. We'll come to you later on with the rest of the list. We have those into eAgric. eAgric does a compilation, a platform for farmers. And what they do is they link farmers. They link farmers to manufacturers or producers of other farming products. The value chain for agriculture, as we know, is tall. And so as we're doing planting for food and jobs, we're also looking at feeding our industry. So one district, one factory. That platform connects our factories to our farmers. This has been the 37th edition of Farmers Day celebration, coming to you live in Cape Coast. And keep an eye, we're still here on the ground. We'll come to you again with the rest of our interviews are listed down. And as much as possible, we'll also bring you the farmers. There's a lady in Bolga doing something so awesome. I asked her to spend time with us, and so when we come back to you, we'll bring you the lady. She is a go-between farming and those who don't have a job, an entrepreneur, you will say, who creates the opportunity for young people to venture into farming and living. Thank you very much for joining us. Back to you in the studio, Valerie.
Thank you, Alan. So that was GTV Breakfast. That was our report from at the Sadel College, and that's where the Farmers Day celebration is going to be held tomorrow. Our guy Alan was on the ground, and I learned that there's something called egg soup. One of the panelists is saying is an amazing delicacy. I haven't tried it. Have you tried it, Cuff? Have you tried it? Check, have you tried egg soup?
Egg stew, but not the soup.
But he's telling me that he's tried
Indeed,
soup. You've tried the egg soup.
Well, but like I said, unless her concept of egg stew is different.
Okay.
Soup.
Yes, egg soup. I mean soup, not
quite stew.
Yeah. So and as I was explaining earlier, it's a typical normal regular soup. Except at this time you didn't have your meat or your fishes in there.
Eggs.
It's just eggs.
Okay.
So and it's typically they'll do the eggs first. Yeah, they'll boil the eggs first.
Okay.
And after having prepared the soup, and they just mix the two. And
so
it's lovely.
What accompaniment does it usually go with the egg soup?
You can have it with your typical rice. I don't know. Someone said that medical doctors would have to start recommending or making prescriptions of rice soup because it looks like it's part and parcel of every patient.
So you can have the egg soup.
You can have it, the soup with your, maybe not with your food, but at least with your rice, plain rice, or with your gari. I love it usually with maybe a ripe plantain. But I had one.
You guys are making us too hungry on this.
So, every day, like you say, on GTV Breakfast, we educate, get informed, and then we entertain. So handing over to you, Kaf.
Thank you very much. The only thing I have against Alan is that he didn't speak any Fanti. I wanted to hear Inyo. And, some Fanti should have flowed.
Wow.
Flowed, by the way, I'm just, for those of you who are watching us from Cape Coast or the Fanti speaking parts of this country, what is a typical Cape Coast breakfast? What's happening to me? Typical, if I come to Cape Coast to have breakfast, what will you serve me? I just want to know. 055-556-1034. Gentlemen, before we wrap up, your comments on what you saw coming from Cape Coast. I'll start with Sheikh first.
Oh yeah, I think I'm impressed that even at this stage, such preparations have been made toward the celebration of our Farmers' Day. Yeah. I mean, without farmers, where would we be? I mean, food is part and parcel of our needs, and keep us with that food. Let all farmers decide to go on leave and stop the farming, and you see what will happen to all of us, from the president down to the lowest person in our country. And that is why they are a very essential wing of our economy. And secondly, I think that now that we are moving towards industrialization, we need to look at the agricultural component of our industry, and that's why we need to really popularize agriculture. Indeed. And this, I hope that it's motivating enough to get more people to get there. And I recommend a certain research to find out what has been the impact of this yearly celebration of the Farmers' Day, and see whether it's really increasing and motivating people to get into agriculture more and more to provide for our industrial needs and our nutritional needs.
Thank you very much. Sheikh Arabia Shaibu is an imam and a spokesperson for the National Chief Imam. So yes, imam to imam. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Shukran.
Shukran.
Thank you. Justice, your thoughts.
Kavi, a typical Farmers' Day, I think, would be outstanding, and so I have no doubt that this would also be. However, I think I'll take it from the perspective of the new GTV that I've seen. I mean, having a drone all over the locality of the celebration, and I mean, having the best eye view of how things are, it's such a lovely scene, and I'm impressed with GTV. I think I started my earlier comments talking about the studios, but I didn't know that there was even more to come. And I don't know whether the new leadership or it is just your physical presence here or whatever the magic is. I think it has to be continued, and it has to be. I mean, you have to do it much better, because I think this is lovely, and Ghanaians would want to see this version of GTV reflecting in the other aspects of our lives, because we sometimes seem to demand so much from our footballers. GTV is now leading this way by giving us these cutting-edge solutions to our problems, particularly with the screens. And I would expect to see the same with our governance system. If we do that, perhaps we wouldn't have to go elsewhere for our tourism and the health care provisions. And I think we'll be proud of the country that we built. Maybe one day, 100 years from today, when you're in your graves and you're looking at Ghana from your telescope, you will love the Ghana you left behind. I think that's what we need to do.
See the way I'm green from here. The leaders are leading and we the workers are working. So, but thank you very much for your words.
Absolutely.
Justice Abdullah is a lawyer and lecturer at the UPSA Law School. He partnered Sheikh Ademiya Shaibu, spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, to bring you the headlines. Still to come, if you went to Fijai.
And that was a privilege.
Thank you.
Sheikh.
Oh, yes, yes. I always look forward to my Thursdays. Yes, indeed. And if you went to Fijai Secondary School in the Western Region, well, happy 70th birthday to you. How do you say 70? I mean, 50 is a golden jubilee. 60 is a diamond jubilee. What is 70 years? That's my quiz from me to you. Let us know. Fijai will be in the house pretty soon. I'll be also speaking to Abdul Hayy Mumin. He's written a new book, The Judgment Day. What's it all about? We'll find out about that. We're also mobilizing the media to fight COVID-19. That's a conversation you don't want to miss. And Valerie comes back to get up close with Christian baller Scott Evans. What a mix. You will enjoy it. Stay with us. This is GTV Breakfast. WhatsApp number 055-556-1034. Salam alaikum to all of you. Have a beautiful day and see me later. Don't go.
The show that Oba anyone concurrent.
It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling healthy. And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast. So what's your pleasure? At that time of the morning.
It's served buffet style, complimentary breast,
on-site restaurant,
or room service.
We've got you covered from Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. with a trusted team. So never skip breakfast
on GT Breakfast. Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling healthy.
A la carte.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my sign.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Compliment breakfast.
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn. So what's your pleasure? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you covered with a trusted team.
thrilling Thursday edition. Intercity, we've been to Cape Coast, we are back in Accra, and we are heading to Wa, although you might not see that. At this point, we are settling into conversations around digital economies, and we know have made livelihoods using digital platforms, and the top ones that come to mind are the ride-hailing apps and all the apps that you use to order food and whatnot. It's offered employment opportunities for thousands of Ghanaians, and it is estimated that digital labor platforms have created opportunities for close to 60,000 to 100,000 Ghanaians, providing the much-needed income and livelihoods to many. However, the workers face multiple challenges, from poor wages to violence at work, and existing labor laws do not also adequately protect these workers who work mainly with the ride-hailing and delivery apps. As a result, Fair Work, a non-governmental organization, has evaluated the conditions of work of the platform economy in Ghana and produced the Fair Work Ghana Ratings 2021 Labor Standards in the Gig Economy. And the maiden report is hosted by the University of Ghana's Business School and implemented in collaboration with the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA. The maiden Ghana report looked at the working conditions of 10 digital labor platforms against 5 global principles of fair work, and they include fair play, fair conditions, fair contracts, fair management, and fair representation. This morning at the table to help us understand what all this grammar and English mean, from my immediate left, Professor Thomas Enendorsen, Country Manager, Fair Work Ghana. Prof, welcome.
Thank you very
Young
much.
Prof, when they say Prof, I was expecting grey hair. No,
things are changing. We're moving in the details.
Next to him, Bismarck Fifitete, Chairman, National Alliance of Digital Driver Unions, Ghana. Bismarck, welcome.
Thank you.
So driver unions have an association.
Sure,
I don't know why I'm surprised, but I guess it's a pleasant one, because does it include Uber, Yango?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes, please.
Fantastic. So let me start with you, Prof. We're talking about a platform economy. What is that?
Platform economy simply means that we have people who are willing to supply labor, and we know people who are demanding labor. So platform economy are where we have digitally mediated institutions or companies that come between those who are willing to supply labor and those who are demanding. So typically you will have your Uber, where they will create the platform so that drivers who are supplying labor and those who are demanding, which is ride-hailing, who also demand. The interesting bit about this is that it doesn't follow your normal employment relationship. And then the second stage is that it is mediated by the digital space. So that's where the platform economy comes in. So there is a mediator who brings people together. It's like a market. It's not an aggregator, but it's a platform where people can meet and then exchange services. But it goes beyond just exchanging services. It is more about people trying to work for another platform in some kind.
Okay, and this has created obviously opportunities for many. There's so many online businesses these days. Would all those be part of the digital economy we're talking about?
Yes, in terms of the digital economy, all these people will be a part of it. But when we talk about the platform economy, that's where we have someone creating, like your Glovo, your Uber, your Black Ride, and all the local companies, which creates that for someone like Fifi and his people to work on all those platforms or to work with those platforms. And I can request a ride or be able to request for something to be delivered to me. But the digital economy is broader, where we have all these e-levies and everything coming in there.
And Fifi, perhaps I'll pick your thoughts on this. We've talked about the opportunities that are created, but also the challenges. Maybe those are not very glaring to those of us who are on the receiving end of the services, but for the providers of these services, there are challenges. Tell us about some of them.
Well, so we are actually happy that the Fair Work team has come out with this report, and I am happy because this is actually confirming everything that the online drivers have been complaining about. This online drivers especially have been complaining about. We complain about the payments, we complain about the way we are treated by the companies and so on. And so if this report, which is based on 5 principles of fair pay,
fair conditions, fair contracts, fair management, and fair representation. And the ride-hailing companies are scoring as low as 1 out of 10, then it tells you that people are actually going through hell.
Thomas, tell us about this research that you conducted. What key areas were you looking at, and what did you find to be the situation in Ghana's circles?
Thank you very much. So this Fair Work is situated at the University of Oxford, at the Oxford Internet Institute in Ghana. We are collaborating with the University of Ghana Business School and of course Kimba as well. So what we do is that we evaluate working conditions of those who are working on platforms globally. So currently we are working in 26 countries. So in those 26 countries we assess. The reason is that Ghanaian laws are not able to regulate this new sector, because the fourth industrial revolution is bringing up jobs that our laws didn't consider. So it's so important for us to come in as researchers to tell the story in terms of what's happening in the platform economy. So our research is based on 5 principles, and these 5 principles were developed with International Labour Organization, ILO, and with platforms and stakeholders to be able to come up with standards that we expect platforms to be able to adhere to in order to provide the necessary conditions for workers to work and work well. Because decent work is what we look out for, and not work that has so much precarity to it. So this year we evaluated 10 of the platforms, and we scored them based on our 5 principles. So each of the principles is divided into 1, a basic point and an advanced point. So when you look at fair pay, for instance, if a platform is able to guarantee or show evidence that every single worker working on that platform is able to earn the minimum wage, then we give that particular platform a score of 1. If they're able to show evidence that all workers are able to earn the living wage, then we give them the extra point of 2. Unfortunately, this year in our score, none of the platforms working in Ghana is able to show evidence or guarantee that platform workers are able to earn.
Are you able to name these organizations?
Definitely. So this year reports covered Black Ride, Eziban, Glovo, iFetch, Sweet Hills, Bold Food, Jumia Food, Uber, and Yango. Okay. And this Black Ride that was able to score 7 out of 10. It means that they were able to meet 7 of our threshold. But even including Black Ride, which is the highest rating platform, was not even able to guarantee the living wage, which is less than 1,100 cedis a month, which is extremely difficult. So this highlights the harms and the risk that we are talking about in the platform economy. People are earning very low. Unfortunately, during our interviews, I spoke with one man who said that sometimes he worked 20 hours a day on 3 platforms to be able to pay for the work and pay that he has with his car owner or vehicle owner. So
then they switch between the platforms. So, yes. For example, they work a certain number of hours for Uber, a certain number for Yango, a certain number for other Glovo and others.
The reason is
before they can meet their thresholds.
Ends meet. The reason is simple, because the pay is too bad, and they have to pay their car owner. All of us know that work and pay is the biggest model in the taxi economy in Ghana. So that's what people are doing. The same thing is happening to those motor riders who are delivering. So those who are working for those platforms in the delivery economy are also faced with the same thing. The next thing that they are faced with is risk. We all know that there's so much risk on our roads. But what are the platforms doing? So one of our principles talk about fair conditions. So are you providing, are the platforms providing the necessary conditions for these people to be able to work decently? Because it's very simple. The labor law says that anyone who is working should be able to work under safe conditions. Unfortunately, our report is suggesting that it's not exactly the case. We're expecting platform, for instance, to be able to provide some safety net. For instance, if he's going to deliver a food to someone and the person gets injured or gets into an accident or a crash, what is the platform doing for them? Is there an insurance cover for them? If the person is not able to work for 3 months, what happens? The person earns no money. So that's the reason why the Fair Work principles or the Fair Work research is extremely crucial. In Ghana, we don't have any regulation whatsoever.
That is quite sad. I remember that some time ago in the US, I believe in the UK about 3 or 4 years ago, Uber was under intense pressure to get some things done, and their license had to be put on hold until they agreed to come on board. That has not happened in Ghana. What has been the effect of some of the issues that Thomas has raised on your work as driver unions?
Well, so you see, the same reason why we have to fight, for the same reason we are struggling to fight, because you know, these drivers are people who earn very little. And because they earn very little, it affects even the service that they provide to the customers. So if you take these rides often, you will realize that some of them are extremely rude, because most of them are very frustrated people. And you know, some of them virtually live in their cars. So you meet drivers in town who have sponge, towel, toothbrush in their cars. And so you realize that some of them get out of the house and they go back like in 5 days. You understand? So they are overworking themselves. And I everywhere I go, I say that this is like a national crisis, because imagine this over 30,000 online drivers, and maybe a quarter of them driving frustrated on the road. Your life is in danger. The president's life is in danger. Everybody has to make sure that the people who drive on the road, the National Road Safety Commission should ensure that these people get out of this situation, so that when they are driving on the road, we are sure that the road is safe for all of us.
It sounds like you're asking for some collaborations to happen between and across sectors. But what kind of regulation are we actually expecting, or should we have in place to make some of these changes possible?
We appreciate the fact that some of the sector ministries are trying to do well. So, for instance, at the launch of our report, we had the Labour Department representing. We are willing to collaborate with them. They've collected data from us in terms of all the platforms that are working in Ghana. We want to move forward. We've heard that there are going to be a revision of the labor laws. We do not want to look at the ordinary labor that we are used to in the first industrial revolution. This is the fourth industrial revolution. There are jobs that are being created in the platform economy. Some people are working online and offline. How are our labor laws able to cover that? So we need everybody to be on board. And Fair Work is willing to work with all collaborators. So in terms of our work, we work with policymakers and government. So for instance, the Uber case, for instance, we supported the Uber people with evidence to show that this is actually what is happening in the UK, and that's how come they were able to get the verdict that they got after 5 years in doing that. But in Ghana, can we work for 5 years while these people are struggling? We can't do that. So we also work on these platforms and appeal to them that it is just human for you to be considerate in terms of the working conditions of the people that you call partners, or the people that you call independent contractors. They can't be independent contractors if you are controlling almost every aspect of their lives. They can never be seen as
because if my memory serves me right, in the case of the Uber situation in the UK, the court ruled that the drivers are employees of Uber.
Exactly.
And so Uber should take responsibility for their operations.
Exactly.
I don't know how this is just coming to me now. Is that the kind of thing you are asking for in Ghana, for all the ride-hailing apps to consider their drivers and their riders as employees of their company and so provide for them?
Exactly. That's what we are saying, that the law should move beyond what we have at this moment and see them as independent contractors.
Bismarck, is that something that's workable? Because you don't even have people owning the cars that they drive. So if you don't own the car that you drive and you're using a platform to provide a service, on what basis would the platform say you are an employer when the car does not belong to you? You still have to make sales to someone.
Yeah, but so then all of that has to be factored in. The question is, even as partners, the partners that they call us, do they regard us as partners? Because the Uber, for instance, Uber Boat Yango, at least, I mean,
all of which scored 1
yes.
on the score.
They are saying that if you invite them on this platform right now, they will not come. You know that, right?
I don't know that. I haven't tried it.
So you should try and invite them and bring all of us together so that we have a discussion here. They will not come. Yes, sir. So these are people
so I presume
who
that
do
you've
not.
tried that.
We have tried it several times. These are people who do not even respect our constitution.
Don't they? They're providing a platform for you to make a life for yourself.
The Constitution says that we should workers are supposed to form unions, and these unions have to be accepted. But they are saying that they don't entertain unions. These are basic human rights. You understand? It is not proper, and you know. I'm appealing to the government agencies that are supposed to be dealing with these issues, because this is actually exposing people.
Which agencies are you looking at?
Prof just mentioned that some labor department came them to get some data, and it's so embarrassing. Should the labor department wait for the Fair Work to tell them how many platforms are working in Ghana? It's so embarrassing. So it tells you that nothing is happening.
People opt, they decide that they want to be a part of these platforms. So when we ask for regulation and legislation, are we not endangering the work because we're looking for employment opportunities and we're not seeking to put impediment in the way of the platforms that offer these opportunities? How can we balance that scale?
It's so easy to balance it. Across the countries we are working or we are doing researching, we are collaborating with these platforms. Even in Ghana, we had 3 platforms making some changes based on our research. So it is always possible. It is possible in the sense that in the case of BlackRight, for instance, they have put on in their terms and conditions on their website that they accept groups, they accept associations, they work with unions. We also go global, changing its laws, which were Spanish into Ghanaian. So now if you have any issue with global, you can now go to Ghanaian court to be able to seek redress. In South Africa, people are not able to do that. Interestingly, a few months ago, in Kenya, the High Court ruled that Uber Kenya and Uber Netherlands are same, and therefore they should be able to be addressed the workers' conditions, because usually what happens is that the terms and conditions that these platform workers sign on to are not based in Ghana, they are based elsewhere.
How many people are we talking about here who are employed in this sector of the economy? I've heard 30, I've heard 60,000.
Our estimation is that between 60 and 100,000. In fact, one of the unions...
I was talking about just online drivers. Okay. He is talking about platform workers.
So online drivers, Uber,
the platform workers include this motor delivery
riders,
and
global and the rest. Right. Okay, I get it now. So we are talking about the welfare of some 100,000 plus.
Exactly.
Youth. What's the key? What should come first? Because there's a number of things here. Should it be fair pay? Should it be fair conditions? Which one is the most pressing need that needs to happen now? I'll ask you then now. Perhaps I should start with you.
Yeah, it's all.
All of it?
Yeah.
Together at the same time?
Oh, yes.
Thomas?
It's possible. It's possible to work on all at the same time. So, for instance, if Uber or Bolt wants to engage driver unions, and the law must also work in terms of contract, it is possible. So we don't have to work on one whilst we work on the other. So the law must start working. So we're working, so Fifi said it's embarrassing. I don't see it as embarrassing. We are researchers, and we are supposed to research and give data to policy people. And that's what we are doing. We are willing to collaborate with policymakers. We are willing to collaborate with these platform workers. I would like to thank GIZ for sponsoring this. So this research is fully funded by the Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ, through a special initiative on training and job creation, be implemented, among other things, through GIZ Ghana. And we are so thankful that they're able to fund this thing. So the league table is not just going to be one of. Every single year, we are going to do this. And this is a way of pushing platforms to be able to make changes. Another point too is that we have what we call Fair Work Pledge. It simply means that we need companies that are using the services of these people to pledge that they are only going to work with platforms that are scoring higher. And we also need individuals like all of us, everyone watching us, to also pledge that they will only work with platforms that are providing better conditions for their workers. In that way, then we'll be pushing them to make the necessary changes to be able to have better conditions for
You're
workers.
saying that it's not a fight only for the drivers or the riders or the people who work, who offer the service, but those who ask for the service as well. Right, a key call there. Some of you are sending your messages to our WhatsApp number 05555610034. We'll be dashing out of here very quickly, but a quick one. What are the principles Prof is talking about? I don't quite know which principles, but I'll put that to Doc. And this is from Dr. Simeon von Salakwi. That's a question that's on the table for now. I just want to find out what are the dangers if the changes you're asking for don't materialize? How much of an emergency is this?
It is a serious emergency because employment opportunities are hard to come by. The government is talking about digitalizing the economy. One of the ways through which we can have employment opportunities through these apps. If we don't regulate, what is going to happen is that there's going to be immense pressure on those who are working on these platforms, and they are not able to make enough. People extrapolate and say that platform workers are taking care of almost 1 million people in Ghana alone. So you're talking about a substantial portion of this economy which is being contributed to by these people. If you do not regulate, what is going to happen is that exploitation is going to continue, and what we do not want that. If you also do not allow fair management, for instance, if someone is deactivated and there's no real procedure for the person to get reinstated on the platform, there will be frustrations in the country. Already COVID has impacted us. One way to expand our economy is through this. And for us to expand well, we need to regulate this particular economy. So we call on everyone, we call on you watching us to only select platforms that are scoring high, to be able to have these workers' conditions improved. So that's the way forward, and that's how we can tackle this problem that we are facing.
Fifi, is this something that you subscribe to? I bet you do.
It's something that we subscribe to.
I bet it's historical.
Sure. It does. Because you know what? Every single thing here matters to us. Everything that they have mentioned here, we need everything to be addressed, and very urgently. You understand? Let me tell you something that happened. My driver, he drives my car, and he picked some riders, and on the way he realized that the passengers were having sex in the car. So he dropped them off, and then we reported him, and he was blocked.
The passengers reported the driver.
The driver.
And he was blocked.
He was blocked. With that, the company it was Yango, and they did not even find out from him why he had to drop them when he dropped them. So he had to drive to the office to tell them that the passengers were having sex in the car.
And it brings me to a question. Is there a procedure for reporting issues for the service providers? Because the service receivers have that option to report. Is there a procedure for you?
For the drivers to be able to report? Yes, but I think that,
does it work?
See, as I talk to you now, no single ride-hailing company, especially the major ones, the Bolt, Yango, and Uber. Okay, maybe Yango has agents that you deal with, so it's easier to contact the agents. But Bolt, Yango, and Uber, if you go to their office, it's more than entering the president's office. Security is so tight. And it is because they know they don't treat the drivers well. And when they get there, they are angry. They are already frustrated on the road. You understand? You ask them to do a lot of the things on the app. I have to be honest with you, a lot of the drivers are not people who can send messages to report on the app. You understand? On the platforms, they do audios and speak the local languages. You understand? The contract that we have, sometimes you open the app in the morning to go online, and you have like a 32-page document that they want you to read, and you only have the option to accept it. Unless you accept it, you cannot go online. And he has somebody's car that he has to pay sales for. These are the kind of things that they are going to
agree and
you just accept and go, because
without
you have
knowing
to
the details of what they are agreeing
to.
to.
The law says that this documents should contract should be interpreted in a language that they understand. You understand? So how long should this continue?
That's where we come in as fair contract. So the contract and the terms and conditions are not fair. If someone cannot appeal the decision that the platform makes against a worker, then we call it fair management. So someone was asking about these principles. So you can go to our website, fair.work, and we have all the publications we've done. We have all these principles well explained, and anyone who is willing to interact, we are willing to interact with them. All stakeholders who are willing to do that. So going forward, like we said, we are a research institute to bring sanity into the space. So we are not against forms. We want to work with them so that the conditions of workers are improved. That's what we are talking about. So our principles again are fair pay, fair conditions, fair contracts, fair management, and fair representation.
Your final words, Bismarck.
Well, I just hope that the agencies, the government agencies that are supposed to be doing taking actions about these things, because we are citizens, and if indeed our leaders care about us, this is where we have to see it. And because if we have companies that are not paying their workers well, they are deprived of working conditions and all the things that we have here, then I don't see what we get from our leaders. I have to be honest.
Right.
And I don't see why we have the institutions that we have, and what I don't know what they are doing for us.
Right. You have some final comments before we...
Yes. So this particular report is available online on our website. You can download it. And we are very thankful to our funders, which is GIZ, through their Invest for Jobs, special initiative on training and job creation. I would like to thank GBC very much for this particular opportunity. We know that everyone everywhere is watching, and we think that the kind of improvements that we need in the platform economy is going to come. We thank you very much for this particular opportunity.
And we are grateful for the insights that you've also shared with us at the table this morning. Professor Thomas Enendorsen is the country manager for Fair Work Ghana. And Bismarck Fifi Tete is the chairman of the National Alliance of Digital Driver Unions Ghana. The two gentlemen have been here to talk about the platform economy, which provides a digitally mediated system of offering a service and accepting a service. So Fair Work went into a research, and they came out with findings on platforms that provide the principles that they lay down, principles of fair pay, fair conditions, fair contracts, fair management, and fair representation. And they scored the companies, 10 of them, up to the number 10. So the lower score you got, the less you're doing for your workers or for the people who use your platform. So from the bottom of the report, Yango scored 1, Uber scored 1, Jumia Food scored 1, Bolt Food scored 1, Bolt scored 1, Swift Wheels scored 2, iFect scored 3, Glovo scored 5, Eziban 6, and then Black Ride 7. So the higher you scored, the better you did in the performance, but through their assessment of these 5 key principles that they did. They are making a key call on all of us to only use apps and platforms that provide fair opportunities for their workers to make an honest, decent living for themselves. And that's what the gentlemen have been here to tell us this morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time with us. We are going to the Central Region now, and Valerie's team is standing by. Yesterday we went to Kotokraba. We didn't get any crabs. Today we are at an exhibition park. I saw tilapia, I saw catfish, I saw snails.
Did you see the frozen snails?
Yeah. What are we getting? I saw rabbits, so cute.
Alan, good morning. Again.
Hi, Val.
What's up?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much once again, and thank you for coming back to us at the exhibition grounds. This is at the Adisadel School Park. I mentioned earlier how the value chain of agriculture is very well represented here. I'll bring on a company that's into services within agriculture, e-agric they call it. You know, everything is going E at the moment. So we have e-agric. I'll bring them on. But just before I do, I'm going to bring Alberta on. Alberta is the coordinator of the exhibitor subcommittee. She is in charge of every other stand. We're just going to quickly pick her thoughts on the whole setup, and then I will get her, I'll pass on to the e-agri team, and they will come. Alberta, join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I earlier introduced you as Alberta, the member of the subcommittee.
Yes, the member of the subcommittee for exhibitions.
For exhibitions.
Yes, please.
Good, thank you much. What can we expect, and what are you, as a member of the team, expecting from all the exhibitors who are showing their produces today?
Okay, so the exhibitions basically open the 37th celebration. Okay. So it's about celebrating our farmers, it's about networking, it's about engaging, and everything you can think of in celebrating our farmers. We have over 200 companies who are basically right from the showcasing their farm produce. Some also into fertilizer, into irrigation, ICT. We have the financial companies here, we have the processors here, we have those into packaging, we have even media houses also showcasing. So everybody, it's moved beyond those showcasing agriculture to even those showcasing our African wares. So everyone is here. Basically, we also have the farmers market here. We have various districts who brought their produce. They are about from 50 different communities. So it's a whole celebration that started on Monday the 29th, and we are hoping that today will be great. Already yesterday the feedbacks were we've had challenges set up and everything, but it's gone beyond that because some of the exhibitors are also very excited with the kind of networking that they're having, and also the kind of sales that they are making, which is quite encouraging.
Guess what? I've made friends with some rabbit farmers, and so from here I'm going to go into rabbit farming. Anyway, thank you very much for passing through, Alberta. We're really very grateful for having you. I'm going to bring on e-agric. E-agric is right behind me. That's their stand there. And good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us. This is GTV Breakfast. The hashtag is GTV Breakfast. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Ghana, and good morning, GTV.
Thank you very much. E-agric, where are you in the agricultural value chain?
Great. So we connect the whole agri value chain, starting from the farmer. Okay. If you say you are a farmer, you identify by your farm. Right. So this is what we do. We go to where the farmer is, capture his biometric details, take his thumbprints, which really identifies you as a unique person, and then we take the location of your residence on our tablets that agents on the field are using. Yes, these are the tablets that belong to the Ghana government that we are using for the projects. And this is taken around by the agents. It captures the location of your residence. We then follow you to your farm. Then you show us that you're really a farmer. Right. So we go to your farm, walk across the farm. As they walk across, the GPS system picks the size and the location of the farm and is plotted and attached to your digital file that is created for you. And then we record the type of crops and the size of your farm in addition.
You've done all that. What happens to the farmer next?
Great. So this data is for essential planning.
Okay.
Then 2 is connecting the farmer to the value chain ecosystem. Right. So we connect the farmer to our insurance system.
Okay.
Farmers in Ghana have been crying for insurance. We have a farm insurance policy that's on our platform. That's number one. Number 2, we connect them to the health insurance system. You can, through our system, get your health insurance card renewed. Wow. Then you have the funding bit. We connect them to the banks and the financial institutions that can actually, based on your outputs, assess your credit score and give you funding to support your agri productivity. Then we have the farm to factory, where we connect the farmer to the production entities. So we have the rice farmers being connected to the rice mill. We have people in the fruit sector being connected to the guys who process fruits. And then on harvest, on their request, they go to their end, make sure this gets to the factory, processed and taken out. And from there, we don't end it. We take it to the table of the eaters.
So you do from farm to factory, from farm to plate.
Exactly.
And then in between, you do insurance.
Exactly.
Do you provide technical advice to farmers as well?
Yes.
In terms of how to plant, the seasons and the timings?
Yes, we have the weather and the technology model.
Fantastic.
This shares modern trends in agriculture. You know, in 2017, the world saw the first time agriculture had gone technical. That was the first time that crops were planted with no human intervention until it was nurtured and harvested and taken to the table of people fully with technology, no human intervention. From that, technology got a place in agriculture, and it is enhancing agriculture, enhancing productivity, ensuring that we manage and control and produce more out of our farms.
Thank you so very much for joining us. Before you go away, a farmer somewhere in the central region or in the Ashanti region may, for the first time, hear about you. How many farmers have you got, and where are you currently?
So currently we've been contracted by Ministry of Agri on behalf of the Ghana government to register and enumerate every farmer in Ghana. We started from the 5 northern regions of Ghana, registered 800,000 farmers as at this morning. And we are continuing to register 2 million farmers in the northern part of Ghana. We've done 500,000 last year, so plus the 800 is 1.3 already.
All in one region?
In the five regions of the north. Yes. And from January, we started the southern belt of Ghana, which will cover the central
region. Thank you very much for passing through. We're so grateful to have you. Let me bring my sister on, and then I'll move on to Ghana Rise. My sister here, I mentioned earlier, is a key player in the north. She's from Bolga, and she connects young people to agriculture. She also connects other farmers. She does a farmer to farmer and a community thing. Welcome, my sister. Let me greet you in the north, in the language, one of the languages. Brika, let's move on. Good. Thank you very much. Okay, so first of all, I see you're carrying a bag of rice. Is this locally produced?
Yes, this is locally produced by our women.
Okay.
From the north.
Oh, so you actually mobilize women for agriculture?
Yes, please.
That's fantastic. How many women do you have working with you?
There are 2,000 women.
2,000 women.
Yes,
and what do you do for them?
We are into farming and then into processing of shea butter. After farming season, we then go back to our processing center to process shea butter and sell.
Wow, wow. And so if a woman is watching us at the moment and they're in the north, what would you tell them, especially if they say they're unemployed?
Oh, I would like to take this opportunity and thank GBC for what they are doing for us now. I would like to tell my colleagues, women at the north, that I know it is easy. They can also make it in life. Sometimes we say, when we start with something and it doesn't go on for us, we come back and relax and say it's not working. But I want to say that it works. They should try hard. Nobody should sit in the house and say there is nothing. First, they used to say that women, we don't have access to land to farm. But now, with the mentorship we have given to our women and their husbands, now our husbands are now releasing lands for us, we the women, to farm and feed our children. And it does not belong to them. And another thing is respect. If you don't respect the man, sometimes we always misquote the word gender. There was a man who asked me, what is the meaning of gender? Then I said, gender is man and a woman coming together to take care of a household. And he said, all the times our women will say that they are fighting for their rights. Gender means only women.
No.
So that's why they always also say they will let them suffer.
Thank you very much. Just not to cut you, but let's see. There are two varieties you have here: the shea butter and the brown rice, especially the brown rice, especially. Yes. Christmas is just around the corner. Yes. We'll be investing in rice to welcome and to also to have our guests come round. If I want to buy this rice, where can I find you?
We are in Bolga and located in Boku East.
Okay.
Kosanaba. So when you call us, our number is on it.
It's on there?
Yes.
Okay, when we visit your stand, we'll take your number and put that out.
Okay. And we'd like to thank MIDA.
Thank you very much.
Brought us here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. MIDA has brought you here.
Yes.
Oh, the Millennium Development Authority.
Yes, they have
fantastic.
brought us here to exhibit our things for the whole world to see.
Thank you so very much.
A very big thank you to them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Their country director, Mr. Austin.
Thank you very much. And so, as we mentioned earlier, we're still at the 37th Farmers' Day celebration here in the central region. I'm going to cross over to Ghana Rice, where they have the various or the different varieties of rice.
And so that is Alan, and he's still reporting from the Adisco College, and that's where tomorrow's celebration of Farmers' Day is happening. And that's Alan with those updates for us. And the hashtag to follow is still GTV Breakfast, and still to come we have some conversations you do not want to miss. First, the media is being mobilized to fight COVID-19, and so immediately after, we'll take a quick break. When we come back from the break, and T is already sitting down with a guest to discuss that and how the media and all stakeholders are going to fight COVID-19, and so that's a conversation to look forward to. Also, we have a book which is going to be launched today, and the title of the book is Judgment Day. I'm not going to tell you who the author is. You're going to find out. He's going to have a sit-down with CAF. And then later on, I'll be having a conversation with Fijai. Fijai is 70 years, and so we're going to have them come into the studio, all students. We even have the headmaster. So if you're watching us and you went to Fijai SHS, this is the time to send in all your shout-outs, all the jargons you used to use in school and all of those things. You can send it to our WhatsApp number, which is 055-55-610-34. And then later on the lifestyle segment, I'll be speaking to the Christian baller. He's a musician, but why he's a Christian baller, we're going to find out all of those things. The show is made possible by Awake Purified Water, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Shield Acrylic Paint, Lufat, Airtel Tigo, Cheesy Pizza, and the hashtag to follow is still GTV Breakfast. We'll see you soon. Here's a break.
You see, I was a song, but you know.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast, sizzling healthy. And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast. So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant?
Or room service?
We've got you covered. From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. With a trusted team. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast, sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant?
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what this written about?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Stand and turn. So it's your pleasure than Votras, yes? That time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast, sizzling healthy.
Thanks for staying on, and it's a thrilling Throwback Thursday right here on GTV Breakfast. We're settling into issues around COVID, and we know what the pandemic has done to economies around the world, but it has also sparked what the World Health Organization calls an infodemic, which is an inundation of misinformation and disinformation about the disease. And they're saying that using trusted local journalists across the globe can play a crucial role in communicating accurate public health measures and in combating this infodemic of misinformation. So the Mobilizing Media Fighting COVID-19 project by Journalists for Human Rights contributes to international public health efforts to combat the spread of COVID-19 and its impact on human rights, in particular women and girls, across 12 countries, and it's funded by Global Affairs Ghana. At the table this morning, I've been joined by the Vice President of the GJA, Madam Linda Asante Ejay, and she's here to talk about the projects that they are undertaking. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. As a member of GJA, welcome.
Thank you.
The misinformation, how dangerous has that been for the fight against COVID-19, and why is that the focus for this project?
Okay, thank you very much. We all know that since 2019, latter part of the year 2019, when COVID-19, broke out, because of its novelty, we didn't have a lot of information about it. It was something new to the whole world. So we had a lot of myths surrounding it. We had a lot of misinformation. We had a lot of conspiracy theories, flooding the media space. And that was actually hampering the fight against this very virus. And that, from the introduction that you read, that was how WHO, termed it as infodemic, because it was actually a lot of misinformation all over the place, and people were very skeptical in terms of embracing this whole idea of fighting it. And even when we look at the protocol, the safety protocols that have been put in place, even abiding by the safety protocols is even a problem. Washing your hands under running water, people are finding it difficult. Wearing of the mask, people are finding it difficult. And even the vaccination, the hesitancy, the high level of it is all because of the misinformation that we all, encountered flooding the space. And that is how WHO came in, and then the Global Affairs, based in Canada, is a charitable NGO, had to put money into it, for 12 countries, and for Africa, Ghana happens to be one of them. And that is training of journalists. So basically, once it deals with journalists, Ghana Journalists Association, being the mother of journalists associations in Ghana, had to embrace it, and then implement this whole project. So for a year, we had training. First of all, we had two mentees, two mentors actually, going through the training and then putting out a call for people to apply. So a call was put out, people expressed their interest, and then a panel was set to go through, the entries to find out those who qualify. Some of the criteria that we used was, one, first of all, you need to be a journalist. Two, you need to belong to a media organization. And even if you're a freelancer, once you have a media outlet that can publish whatever work that you do, you qualify, to be a trainer or a mentee under the project. So in Ghana, after sieving, we had 26 journalists across the length and breadth of the country qualifying. So they were taken through a series of topics, including all the UN conventions on human rights, even our own Ghana constitution, all the necessary documents that had to do with rights issues, so that when you are reporting, you could relate to any of the documents available. So we had the training, and then after the training, we just left them, because you are supposed to pitch a story, and then after pitching, you go ahead. The two mentors will guide you, shape the story, and then you publish the stories. For the first part of the first phase, we're supposed to do 93 stories, and Ghana were able to exceed. We did more than 93 stories, and that qualified us to the elite stage, where we're supposed to do 50 stories. And after that 50 stories, we were able to exceed as well, and we had over 70 stories. We had countries like Gambia, some of the African countries, they had more journalists applying. Gambia, for instance, had about 70 journalists applying and even qualifying to do the project. But unfortunately, the interest wasn't so much. People didn't have a lot of interest. I don't know what really happened. And we had 26. But even with that 26, we were able to excel. And it was so amazing that we were looking at solution journalism. So in the various communities, identify the various issues in your communities related to COVID human rights, with special emphasis on women and girls. And the stories that have come out, very amazing, very result-oriented, to the effect that people have actually had solutions, to the issues that they reported, and it's been so amazing. We finished with the first phase of it. We are now evaluating, which it will be extended after the evaluation report comes, and then we will look at the loopholes, that we encountered during the first phase, and then it will be enhanced, open wider for more people, to come in, and then even now that we have another variant coming up, it means that we still have a lot of work to do as journalists reporting on COVID-19. To be sincere with you, COVID-19, looking at the way it is turning around, it is not going to leave us anytime soon, meaning that journalists, we have a lot of work to do. Because when it comes to information, giving us accurate information, educating the general public, it is us and nobody else. WHO started on and realized that for us to fight this infodemic thing, we have to involve the media. That tells us that as journalists, we have an important role to play when it comes to combating this deadly virus surrounding us.
I'm wondering why the focus on women and girls when it comes to COVID-19. It's supposed to be a disease that respects no boundaries. So why the gender focus on women and girls?
Yeah, so the focus on women and girls because of their vulnerability. We look at the vulnerability of women and girls. We all know that COVID-19, contracting this virus, it means that you have to beware in the crowd. And women, we know that when it comes to marketplaces, women are always there. Even at church, women outnumber that of the men. And even girls, in a sense that for us, even though we are looking at girls, our attention was more on children, because they are a very group of people that you cannot so much control. When they go to school and you ask them to wear their mask, they won't, because they cannot actually keep the mask on for a number of a long period. So they are vulnerability aspect of it, and these are people that we thought that they are the voiceless, more voiceless people that we have to give voice to. So why don't we pay more attention on them? Because they also have rights. Well, they don't have anybody to talk for them. So let's focus more on them. That doesn't mean that men also do not have issues when it comes to rights. They do. But I realize that it's like attention has been shifted more from women and girls. So let's project their issues more. So we tend to project the issues concerning women and girls in general, but somehow we weaved in that of men as well.
Okay. So we are trying to sift through information to find out which ones are true and credible and which ones are not. So I presume that there was some cross-checking tools presented to the journalists who took part in this project. Tell us about that.
Exactly. So part of the training, we took them through fact-checking. So after taking you through fact-checking, when you see or you come across information, on the social media, how do you check to know which one is correct for you to publish? Unfortunately, we have some of even the traditional media, following or using the information that we all got on the social media without checking, because we didn't even know how to even check to know which one is the truth. So we ended up also reporting all the falsehood that we came across, and that means that we're worsening the misinformation aspect of it in fighting COVID-19. So they were taken through fact checking, how to do correct fact checking, so that once you come across an information, how do you sieve to know which one is correct before you use. So these were some of the things that they took them through. And I must say that I'm so proud of it that from the training, about 8 months now, the outputs, their story writing has actually changed, in terms that now they can see which one is correct. Now they do more detailed work, because you are supposed to look at the various conventions, various rights documents that we have, cite even the Constitution, what the Constitution says about human rights. Even if you are reporting on a child, what does the child's rights say? What's, what does the Constitution say about children's rights? So it's like they are doing more in-depth story now and doing more follow-up. So you pick a story, you start and you won't end it there. You have to make sure that you report to the end until you have a solution to the issues that you started with. So it's more or less has changed their style of writing now, and I think it's something that we really want to sustain and also expand so that other journalists, in the country can also have that kind of training to enhance their writing skills.
Talking about sustainability, how do you intend to ensure that the successes that you've chalked with the training from 8 months up until now would be sustained beyond the period?
Okay, so this is a project being funded by Global Affairs, meaning that once the funding elapses, what comes out of it? Does it mean that we will not be able to do anything again? So what we are doing is we entreating various media houses where these journalists are coming from to own it now, because as part of the project they were being given some stipends to go out and then do their stories, more or less not only focusing on the cities but then going to the hinterlands where we have so many issues. A story came from Wa, for instance, where there's a tradition that we used to, a culture I should say, that we used to hear of. When a child is born with a deformity, that child is termed as a curse and the child has to be sacrificed. It's still happening. A story came out in Wa. It's still happening. A child was born with a deformity. The leg was twisted to the back and the family was preparing to go and sacrifice this boy in the bush because they see the boy as a curse. Quickly, the journalist in that region who happens to be under this project followed it up. Make sure he got in touch with STRAC to also come in. The police came in. Just as when the family was doing their rituals to sacrifice this boy, they came in and then sat the family down, took them through, some kind of counseling to know that we cannot practice this kind of culture again. Who knows? This deformity can be, corrected through surgery. And who knows what this boy, can come out when he grows up. So the family eventually understood. Now the life has been saved. The boy, now looking for sponsorship for the boy to go through surgery and then taken back to school.
Impactful journalism.
And that is what we are working for. Yeah.
Why we do. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your morning with us, and we wish you the very best in the next stage of the project, which is on training journalists in order to equip them to help tackle the WHO's infodemic, which is the influx of misinformation and disinformation, especially where it relates to the fight against COVID-19. Linda Santeje, Vice President of the GJA, has been talking to us. Thank you so much, Madam Vice President. And it's time at this time to take a quick break, and when we return, it's Judgment Day, and Kafui Day will tell us all about that. We'll be back.
So when do we get started?
Show you.
titled Judgment Day, the story of Ghana's 2020 election petition from the diary of a journalist, authored by Abdul Hayy. Abdul, salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Good to see you, man. How you doing?
I want to be like you, so I'm still on the way. I'm fine, but I wish I was like you.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
That's your final answer. I've just been flipping through this book. First of all, I'm very impressed by the work you've done prior to this, and secondly, by this book.
Right.
So you decided to chronicle the election petition from your lenses.
That's exactly. Even though this book talks about the 2020 election petition, it is also very well situated within the context of the 2012 election petition as well. Because what I did in this book was to juxtapose the two and highlight the key issues out of that. What I realized was that as journalists, we report a lot on many issues, yet we leave the history to be written by people who necessarily did not observe the happenings.
While it was happening.
It was happening. And I had the rare privilege, and this hasn't happened before, to be the first journalist perhaps to take a camera inside the premises of the Supreme Court and to conduct interviews from within the Supreme Court. If this hasn't been done before, and I have done it, I think I need to record it. And so I did. Again, that was in 2012. Then in 2020, I happened to be a key part of the coverage that GBC had the exclusive rights to do, and then gave the feed to other media houses. And so if I was part of the exclusivity, then I need to write something to ensure that subsequently when history is being told, it will be recounted from a first person's point of view and not from the point of view of persons who may have heard what happened and not seen what happened. And so this is my contribution to history and to knowledge.
So you had privileged access to goings on that we may not have seen.
In fact, goings on that the TV cameras did not even capture, both in 2012 and in 2020. Well, so this is it. 2012 election petition happened in 2013, and then the 2020 election petition happened in 2021. So usually people get confused. Yes. But so yes, I had very rare privileges during both election petitions, and so I thought that it would be important for me to recount some of the happenings as I reported them both on TV and online to the audiences. But again, I put the stories together in such a way that you might at some points feel you are reading a novel, even though this is very well situated in reality.
And that's the kind of book that we really like to read, because I saw some comments, an endorsement from Samson Ladi, and he was saying exactly that he set out to skim through a couple of pages but ended up enthralled till he read the last sentence. So we like those kind of dramatic books. Tell us something that you know that we wouldn't know just because of your privileged access, without giving too much from the book.
Of course, let me give you two scenarios. Yeah. In 2013, when we're covering for the 2012 election petition, you recall that there was a contempt charge against Samir Uku, who was then the MPP's youth organizer.
Yes.
Okay, so what people didn't see on TV was that when Samir Uku stood in the dock, we didn't have a microphone provided for him because preparation was not done for that. We didn't know that it was going to happen. And so we began to receive, people were watching online and making all sort of negative comments about GBC. And so the director on duty was Kwesi Nchi. Kwesi then sent a microphone to me, and I was within the courtroom itself and asked me to send the microphone to Samir Uku. And this was a tense moment. I received the microphone, crawled, you know how we do it, crawled on my way, and what I was doing, the late Jacobi Chebilamte, then Otiko Jaba, Nana Akufo-Addo himself, who is now president, they were all in the courtroom, and the eyes with which they looked at me, I was so tense that, look, literally, the eyes were pushing me back, even without them uttering a word. Then Justice Akutuba saw what was happening, and then he said, Mumin, take your time. take it to him. And then I sent it, and then he took it. I mean, for me, this was one of the moments. It wasn't captured on TV. Nobody saw, but I remember clearly that I was part of the action when Samuel was asked, do you now see your real size? I mean, and this is historical because, again, in 2021, we saw at least 2 incidents of contempt of court. One was a near contempt of court on the part of Mr. Frank Davis, who was one of the lawyers, but again on the part of Dr. Dominic Ayine, who was charged for contempt, but it did not travel as far as it did in 2013 because Dr. Dominic Ayine was asked to purge himself, which he immediately did, and so we didn't have that much controversy around the contempt of court issues. But there were so many issues that happened. I don't want to reveal until the book has been launched.
That one is good. How about the 2020 petition? One thing that we don't know that you captured.
Okay, so I walk into the washroom. I mean, I had been sitting for some time, and this time I decided to observe from the OB van, because from that point, you don't just see what's happening on TV, you also get to watch the angles all the other cameras are taking even without being on TV.
Okay, so the OB van is the outside broadcast van.
The outside broadcast van. Okay. So I was in the outside broadcast van with Kofi Apije, who is the director for this particular show.
Yes.
And so I went to use the washroom, and here walks in this lawyer who says, have your cameras been capturing me? I want, and it's been mentioned somewhere. I don't want to mention his name now.
Yeah.
I want, when the story of this election petition is told someday, history would have recorded that I was part of it.
Hey.
And I said, okay, so a lawyer wants to be part of history. How about the journalist covering this? I should also be part of history. And so, I mean, so there were conversations, and it told me that people were not just seeking to overturn the results of an election or seek to establish the fact that the president was validly elected, but also they were seeking to be a part of history. And that was when it struck me that this was a historical event and needed to be recorded.
Fantastic. I mean,
so I was inspired in the washroom, actually.
Yeah, straight away. And then said, now, if this lawyer is requesting, I should write my own story myself. So this is happening, the launch is happening when?
Tonight. 6 p.m.
At
the Assemblies of God headquarters, right? Just on the way to GIG, around the British High Commission area. And we have very high-profile people who have already confirmed that they are coming. Unfortunately, the Vice President would have loved to be there. In fact, I had a meeting with him, but he has to travel outside of the country. The President, of course, has been out, will return at a time that will not be convenient for him to attend. Former President John Mahama, we also sent him an invitation. We met his office, and then he is also traveling to the Gambia. Unfortunately, will not be there.
Observer.
Yes, he's an observer. And so, yes, but they are sending representatives. We have MPs who have told us that, look, despite what's happening in Parliament, they will leave and come in their numbers. We have regional ministers who are traveling from other regions to attend. I mean, people of very high, repute are coming. Yeah.
I wish you the very best. Congratulations. I'm going to end with the last paragraph in your acknowledgements. Finally, as for that police officer who prevented me from going inside the courtroom on day 2 of the election petition hearing, even though I had accreditation, I will not thank you.
That's right.
I thank you for coming here. Thank
you very much.
Author of Judgment Day, the story of Ghana's 2020 election petition from the diary of a journalist.
And you know what? You are the first person to receive a copy.
Thank you.
After my wife.
Thank you. So, with compliments from the author to Kafui Day, 2nd December 2021. This is me a person. Stay tuned. This is GTV Breakfast. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well done, man.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks.
Stay with us.
Twist and love is a beautiful thing. It's done jazzy again. I'm the man. Oscar like what you make a first home. When the Coco Master fall in love. You don't say what I don't pass, Gabby. Hey!
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure, Danvotrasia, at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast,
On-site restaurant,
or room service?
we've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
My neighbors. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the box?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure, Dan Botras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Welcome to the warmer side of the breakfast table. And Fijai is 70 years. Fijai is 70 years. And do we have any four sons in the house? Are we four sons watching us? I'm sure we have a lot of four sons who are watching us right now. And so Fijai Secondary was established in January 29th January 1952, and is one of the best educational institutions in the Western region. Produced a lot of educated renowned personalities within and outside the country. And we've been joined by their chairperson, the headmaster, and an alumni. So I have Dr. Sally Akwe. Dr. Sally Akwe is the chairperson for the 70th Anniversary Planning Committee of Fijai SHS. And then I have Mr. Kenneth Doche Agbomaji. He is the head of Fijai SHS, and then Mr. Bernard Bafwewa, he's the president, Fijai Old Students, so president of FOSA.
Sure.
The best comes from West.
Sure.
So congratulations on your platinum journey. Now, and tell us a little about Fijai. For those of us who do not know, we just know that we have Fijai SHS. But tell us a little about Fijai, and I'll start with you, headmaster.
Yes, thank you. Fijai is a suburb in Secondary, and the school is situated in Fijai. So that's why we have Fijai Senior High School. But the story is that two brothers had a misunderstanding, and one of them moved to settle there and said, Afe Jaime, meaning now leave me. And it was corrected to become Fijai.
Oh, so that's how it is. Yes. So which year did you finish, Dr. Sally?
1987.
1987. 1987. Wow, I don't want to say how old I was. 1987. Yeah. Did you have anything in school?
Sally Baby.
So I'm going to refer to you as Sally Baby. Sally Baby. 1987 year group. Yes. And which year did you finish?
1975.
1975.
Yeah.
I wasn't even born. What was your nickname in school, sir?
I never had one, but they called me Bibi, my initials.
So Sally Baby, Bibi.
Bibi.
Honorable Headmaster, did you go to Fijai?
No, I'm not an old student.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
But I'm a young soul.
You're young, so how, you know, I mean, I'm selling everybody out, but you know that every headmaster of every SHS has a nickname. Say, by any chance, do you by any chance know your nickname?
No.
I'm sure your students have one for you.
Yeah, they were calling me Akada when I was assistant head academy.
Akada. And so it's stuck.
Yes.
So I'll stick to Akada, Sally Baby, and then Bibi.
Sure.
Okay, so now our conversation begins. And so, how many students did Fijai begin with, if you know? And how many students we have currently?
Yeah, Fijai began with 38 students, 32 boys and 6 girls. But currently, with the exit of the Form 3s, we have only the Form 1s and the Form 2. So the population now is 1,502. Yes.
Right.
Yes, and the girls are 957, and the boys are 545 now currently.
Wow.
But when the Form 3s were around, we were 2,704 when the Form 3s were around. So we are expecting the Form 1, new Form 1 to come and replace the Form 3. So the population will go back to 2,700 plus.
Okay. Okay. So the 70th anniversary is coming up, and you're part of the planning committee, Sally Babe. I'll call you that, Sally Babe. You're part of the organizer. So what are some of the activities lined up for the celebrations?
Okay, so it has started already. 29th October, we did the official launching for the anniversary in Takrady, and it was mega. We had Anakobinan Katia the 5th being the guest of honor to do the cutting of sword for the anniversary. Now, just after that, for the students also feel the anniversary, we did soakings competition for them, sponsored by Cowbell. It was so interesting. You know, everybody was bringing his cap and then getting his soakings done. It was very interesting. Now on Saturday, we are going to do Lunch Reloaded. Now the question is, why Lunch Reloaded?
2 days, Saturday.
Yes, this Saturday.
The 5th.
Yes. No, the 4th.
4th.
Yes, the 4th. At Holiday Inn, at 1 p.m., we are going to do the Lunch Reloaded. Why the Lunch Reloaded? We've done the lunch, so why the Lunch Reloaded? 2 reasons. One, because we are not in normal times. We didn't want to crowd people over during the lunch. So we told the Accra people to just stay, and then we'll bring the lunch to them. Also because we realized that we need to find money for the anniversary, because free SHS, you cannot levy the children. We'll be in trouble with the government. So we have to raise money. So we are using the Lunch Reloaded to raise funds to massage the expenses of the anniversary. So that is why we are doing the Lunch Reloaded. Okay. And then after that, between December and then February 28th, where the new anniversary will start, there will be media engagements and other activities that will be, as they spring up, we take there. But 28th February to the 6th of March, that is the main anniversary week. During that week, we are going to have floats. We are going to have Teachers' Day out. Why Teachers' Day out? The teachers are always stuck in school, taking care of the kids, teaching them. When they close, they don't have any activity. So we are taking them out for an excursion. We are going to pamper the teachers to thank them for what they've been doing for the children. Then there's going to be Mr. and Miss Fijai for the kids. So that this Mr. and Miss Fijai is not just about beauty. We want to touch on their intelligence. We want to touch on their creativity to see what they can bring out of themselves. So Mr. and Miss Fijai is not going to be done independently. We'll tag the man with the woman or the boy with the girl and call it, together they will have to win the prize.
So they contest as a couple?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we are going to have mentoring and coaching done by the old students. Then on Friday, which will be on the 4th of March, there will be alumni homecoming for the old students. Now this one is going to be different from all the homecoming that we've done. Why? Because this time around we are going to rep in our old school uniform. So everybody is coming in. We are green. If you are a lady with your green uniform, with your white belt, if you did only such form in Fijai, you come with your blue uniform, and then the boys will rep in their white shirts and their khaki, just to have the feel of coming back to school, to reminisce what happened when they were there. You know, so that is and then on the Saturday morning, they are doing so much for the school. They are doing the landscaping, a new kitchen, the school gates. They will do the presentation of those projects to the school as their package or gifts for the 70th anniversary. Then we'll do the grand derby to award students and then teachers who have done so much for the school, and also all students who have contributed immensely towards the upliftment of the school. And in the evening, we'll do a grand banquet at Western Plus, which is formerly Atlantic Hotel. And then on the Sunday, we'll do the Thanksgiving service. So basically, that's what is there for us.
It sounds like a tall but exciting list. Okay, let me come to you, Bibi. What are your some of the fond memories you have when you were in Fijai?
Thank you very much. For the very first one that comes to mind happened in 1962. During that period, we used to have this inter-colleges football competition nationwide. Exactly. And Fijai was in the, as we all know, it's in the southern sector. So we started the competition in the southern sector. We beat St. Augustine's to win the central and the western zone. Then we moved on. We beat O'Reilly Secondary School to win the southern sector. And we were to meet the champions of the northern sector. And that happened to be Opokwara Secondary School. So the finals came on at the Accra Sports Stadium. And when we started the game, Opokwara ran into a 2-goal lead within a short time. But we managed to hold on. And then when we came back during the second half, and because of the pep talk, you know, that had been given to the players by the first headmaster, Charles Quay. They came with, you know, a renewed vim, and we were able to overturn the 2-goal margin, and we beat them 4-2. 4-2. And that was the time that we had players like Robert Fall. He played later for Accra House of Folk. We had, what is the name? Obeng called Rago, and some other players who later on played for Azakes and what is the name? Wise. Wow. Good. Another fond memory, or you want?
We might want to save that. Is there a hashtag to follow for Sons to follow people who want to know more about the upcoming anniversary? And then also, all students are asking, we're asking for contributions, isn't it? So yes. Maybe let's round that up and tell us the 411 and where we need to make those contributions. If there are numbers to call, there are social media handles to follow, please.
Yes, indeed, because of the anniversary, and even before then, because all students have already been engaged in the area of helping the school, I mean, giving back to the school, we have been, you know, right from so many years ago, we've been part of the engagement, such that we have made sure that we improve the infrastructural development of the school, and then we are looking at the academic, you know, aspect and all that. So we have asked all students to contribute towards some of the projects she mentioned. For example, the main entrance gate. That Fijai is the only school in the Western region without a main entrance gate for all these years. So we are putting up one. The contractor is at site currently. So all students are encouraged to contribute, and you'll be marveled the kind of contributions that are coming in from Ghana, from Europe, from America, all over the world, China,
good.
The
That's
places.
good on for Sons. Right.
Yeah. So you can also go to our Facebook page, Fijai SHS 70th anniversary. Any information you want on the anniversary, you get it there, including how you can even contribute. They have the bank accounts there, we have the Momo numbers
all
there.
Information
all
is on the
there.
Facebook.
Yes, it's there on the Facebook
page of Fijai
SHS. Senior SHS anniversary. So you go there, you just type in Fijai SHS and 70th anniversary, it will take you straight to the page, and then you can get all the information. We are doing countdown to the launch reloaded, and even after that.
Right, and the launch reloaded is happening on the 4th.
On the 4th in Accra.
This Saturday.
Yes.
At the
Holiday Inn.
At the Holiday Inn. What time does it begin?
1 p.m.
Okay.
And we also have people like Honorable Joseph Kujo, who is an old student, as the guest of honor, coming.
Yeah. We'll find all that information when we go to the Facebook page, because we are hard pressed for time. Thank you. I was going to put you on the spot to sing your school hymn, but my director will have my head. One stanza. My director will have my head. My director will have my head, surely, but I've been spending time with all students and the headmaster of Fijai SHS, and they are celebrating their 70th anniversary pretty shortly. But on the 4th of December, the launch reloaded is happening at the Holiday Inn, and it starts at 1 p.m. So we've been spending time with Dr. Sally Akwe, a.k.a. Sally Baby. She's the chairperson for the 70th Anniversary Planning Committee. Mr. Kenneth Doche Agbomaji, he's the headmaster of Fijai SHS. They call him Akada. And then Mr. Bernard Bafoiwa, he's the president, Fijai Old Students Association, a.k.a. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We'll take a quick break.
Live on GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Every day he has a drink filled with malt.
And so, to the side that's by Etel to go the warmer side, I'm going to be talking to the Christian baller. Remember how from the beginning of the show we were talking, we're going to be speaking to the Christian baller. And guess what? He is the only gospel artist from Ghana who's been able to put gospel lyrics on an amapiano beat. My guest is Scott Evans. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to our set. It's the first time having you on here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
How's everything? 411, so did you wake up early? Did you have to rush through traffic?
Yes, I woke up early. I had to shower and do all that, and there was a lot of traffic on the motorway. I have to use sideways. I hope I
don't say it.
Before he takes me out from here.
Yes.
But I had to hurry and get.
But you got here. That's the most important thing.
Right.
And Ghanaians, we are blessed to have you.
Thank you.
So let's have a feel of your voice before we actually get into the conversation, because we might not have a lot of time, you know. So come on, let's have a feel of your voice.
Deep in my heart, you be my only desire. If you know for your grace, so me need my people. Oh, oh. If you know for your favor, me need my people. Oh, oh. Girl, my pique. That's right.
Oh, but we just had the song. let's have one that we've never had before. Maybe your first ever single. Do you remember the title of your first single?
Yes, I think it was Holding On.
Holding On. Grace us with Holding On. Please.
Why you taking so far?
Because we didn't know you when you were doing Holding On. No. So I want to know you when you did Holding On.
Okay. Let's do Good God.
It's closer, and Good God is closer. Okay.
Oh, good God. I love the way you love me, and I like it. When you say you love me, and I find you. You that do what no man dare do. Nyame woka wanka ye baby ameko bi nyame no waka me ho. Nyumo ni mechi oka me ho. Be go ni fan so oka me ho. Oka me ho. Oka me ho. Baby ameko bi nyame no waka me ho. Me nyumo ni mechi oka me ho. Be go ni fan so oka me ho. Oka me ho. On se sare biara do. On se sare biara do. O me boss say on se sare biara do. On se sare biara do.
So on se sare biara do. So your what do you call your kind of gospel music? It's all gospel music, but do you have a tweak name for it?
Yeah, we call it urban gospel.
Urban gospel.
Yes.
Okay, so as a urban gospel artist, how are you guys faring? Because you're not many when it comes to gospel music industry. Urban gospel, you're quite a sizable number. Small. So how are you guys faring when it comes to gospel music?
Well, I think we are doing good. We feel fulfilled because last year we got a nomination from VGMA, which Kobe-san went to rep for us. We got a nomination at the Free Music Award as well. So I think significantly we are making progress.
Urban gospel is catching up.
Yes.
But why do you think there's this gap between urban gospel and traditional gospel music? Why?
Basically, it's because it's a new thing, and everything that is new takes time for people to catch up. So I think that's the
right. How long have you been around as a gospel musician?
Professional, I would say 4 years.
Professionally 4 years. Okay. So if there's anything at all to change in our Ghana music industry, not just the gospel music industry, but the whole Ghana music industry, if there was one thing you could change, God gives you the power, you're a gospel musician, hey, Scott Evans, change one thing, what would be that one thing you change?
I will change the structures. I'll put structures in place that can that could be like a blueprint for every young gospel artist.
Okay. So before you stepped out and everybody knew you as Scott Evans, what was your biggest challenge? Maybe if you're able to tell us what that challenge is, maybe you can start from then. That's the one thing that you change. What was your biggest challenge coming out?
Mindset.
Your own mindset?
My mindset towards my music. Because it was quite challenging for me because not everybody understood what we were trying to do. We couldn't really, my kind of music was not really for the church culture. Do you understand? Like, it was so different from the usual church culture way.
You mean the traditional gospel music?
Okay, way. Sure. So I had to be strong psychological and I have to build a mindset that this is what I want to do, and if this is what I want to do, then I got to overcome this.
And that's your biggest challenge. And after you overcome your own mindset, that's the best of Scott Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what's in the pipeline for Ghanaians? It's Christmas. The Christmas season is here. Any Mapike, right?
Yeah.
That's the latest single. Yes, how long has it been out?
Mapike has been out since 1st November. So I think this is just like 30 days ago. Today's 2nd, so 30
how's it doing? What's the feedback you got?
Mapike has been amazing. The projection has been good. It has been, I think it's one of the best songs I've I have recorded for myself as an artist. Mapike has broke through for me. It has taken me to places. It has made room for me for a whole lot of places. And I think so far, so good. Mapike is everywhere.
Mapike is Ga Adangbe.
Yes, ma.
What does it mean?
It means like, what will you do? A better thing.
A better thing.
Yeah.
So what inspired Mapike?
Ultimately, I realized that regardless of the human strength, there are some things that there are some things of God that supersedes the human effort, and those three things, I believe, they are the grace of God, love of God, and the favor of God. Regardless of your strength, your cars, your properties, regardless of everything that you have, there are these three things I believe you can't do away with them, and they are attributed to God only. The grace, it's only God that can give grace. Love unconditionally is only God.
Sure.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And favor, it is God who shows favor, who shows mercy. So these three things is what motivated me.
Okay. Right. Are you a preacher?
I could be.
You could be, but you don't actively go out to preach.
Yes, actively, but I do through music.
Oh, you do it through music. That's fine. And so when you're not doing music, what do you do? Scott Evans, the musician, what do you do when you're not doing music?
I do music. I mean, I do business, sorry.
Business?
Yeah.
What kind of business?
I'm into shipping and logistics, import, export, and that.
So all the money day your side?
No, I'm just working for people. How can the money do my side?
So the money no there side?
No, do my side. The money do your side. If you bring the money, they get small.
Me and they work for GBC.
Yeah.
They work for the government.
The biggest, in Ghana.
Now they work for, you say what? Logistics, shipping, importing.
Yeah.
Shall you get money? We finish that today. We will go lunch here. Right. Cool. You've collaborated with Lord Paper.
Yes.
And a couple of other people. But who would you want to have the collaboration with? The one that when you have a feature with that person, you know that Charlie Scott Evans has arrived.
Lecrae.
Who is he? Shed light on it for us.
Lecrae is an American rapper. Yes. I feel I will be ultimate. Ultimately, I will be fulfilled if I get Lecrae. That is, if I have to go outside Africa. But in Africa,
1 minute.
In Africa, I will do Frank Edwards.
Frank Edwards.
Yeah.
Okay, he's somebody that I can relate to. I mean, we don't have a lot of time, but Christmas is fast approaching. You are now a role model to lots of people. How many followers do you have?
13,700, almost 14.
And that's a lot of people who follow you and follow yourself. So you're probably a role model to lots of people.
That's right.
Christmas is coming up, and lots of activities, events here and there. Advice to your fans, to Ghanaians, people who are watching you.
Oh, I just want everybody to know that Mapike is out, and every time you're having fun, just don't forget that God should be the center of your fun. Put Mapike on your track list, on your playlist, and enjoy yourself this Christmas. God bless you.
No concert. Where do we find you on social media?
Scott Evans ZB, everywhere you go, Scott Evans ZB. Thank you.
So guys, and that's Scott Evans for you. His song Mapike is out. The video is out. So go on all social media handles. Follow his music, share his content, and together we promote Ghanaian music. The hashtag to follow GTV Breakfast. We'll see you again tomorrow, sharp 6 a.m. with the Founders Day edition of the Breakfast Show. Have a great day. Bye.
Your love to my body, it is sweet past honey, it is sweet past money. The very best in the morning, the very best in the evening. You're my Lambo. Ale, 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 ale. Ozi, 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 Anna.